Action, people. Thank you all for coming out with us tonight. It is a two-night situation, and I have two of the mighty Xbox comrades in these streets with me tonight. It's a pleasure to have these two guys. I go by the name of the New Legal, and they go by the name of Sherminator and the mighty Odo T Reaper. And we are going to bring up some good topics tonight. I can't wait to hear what these two guys got to say. This is a very unique cast right here. I'm kinda excited about this cast. So you guys give them a warm welcoming. And I'm gonna sit back. I'm passing the two mics to y'all, and I'm gonna sit back and enjoy this show. Hell, this is live and direct. Let's get to it.
All right, thank you, Legal. This is a real treat for me. Thanks for having me on. This is actually really cool. And Sherman, awesome for all three of us to be here. It's like you brought us back from the dead, Dorian. We just came back from we were invisible. Now you just click, and we're all in the same party. Well, what's going on, everybody? I have been gone for such a long time that it's very nice to actually finally be in, talk to people again. I tell you that Call of Duty people, no joke whatsoever. Realism, PTSD, automatic.
Beautiful, beautiful introduction, brother. Beautiful introduction. We're good to have you here, man. And then, hey, no problem. You're not gone, man. You're not invisible, brother. Life is something else, man. But life is good. You're going through some things, Reaper, and like we said, we're gonna always be here for you, man. We're family. We're Xbox family. We're gonna be here for you, man.
That's right.
So it's an honor just to have you, brother. We know the work that you do, and I put him up on the pedestal right now. My man knocked this game out on realism on Call of Duty Modern Warfare, man. You are
Oh,
something
that was
else.
you.
You are something else when it comes to.
Oh, that
I
was
know this guy.
you.
I know this
Yeah,
guy.
that was
Hey,
me.
man, yo, Anonymous, thank you so much. Let
Oh,
me get my phone out, man. Let me get my phone out. Let me follow you
wow.
back, Anonymous. Hold on, give me a second,
Uh,
fam.
it's not
But
because I like
yeah,
doing it on easy, people. It's because I just
Wow.
don't want to. But if you give me enough reason
yo,
to, I will do so. And
yeah, man, you did
PTSD
that.
level
That was
is enough
Wow.
very,
reason for
very
me.
impressive. That's impressive. That
Wow.
that is about as impressive as my inconceivable on Gears 4, bro. I couldn't
Wow.
can't do nothing but give
Mm.
you respect for that. It's on that level, cause
But
I'm
Wow.
it was just
I'm
insane. I mean,
actually
but
I'm
I loved feeling it that way because in 2003 when this franchise was launched, this is how I wanted it to feel. But we didn't have it back then, but we have it now, and it feels beautiful. It
right.
feels just right.
Right. How's everybody doing tonight? You guys, anonymous, just give me a second, man. Give me a second. We're having issues. Yo, how do we sound? Is everybody sounding okay? How do we sound? Cause I'm about to give Sherminator his introduction. And Sherminator, how's it going over there in Arizona, man? Or is it New Mexico? I forgot
No,
whichever
it's
one it was.
Arizona.
I had it
It's
right. I had it
no,
right.
no.
That's
You
right.
had it right. It's Phoenix,
I had
Arizona.
it right. My man over there in Arizona. Well, we want to hear from you too, man. You're the one and only Sherminator. So, I, man, you
Well,
know what? Before you say anything, man, anonymous, rant fork niggas are in the building. Yeah, man, they come up with these. Ramp is laughing because he always knows I get his name as a. But Ramp Fornicus is in the building, all the way from the UK. Anonymous, we don't know where you from, but it's always good to see him too. I'm following him back, and I'm sorry about that, Sherminator. But you go ahead, man. You a man of no introduction, man. But you going to get a big introduction here on my show. This guy here, man, is like I said, my big brother, a great friend of mine. And please don't forget your shout out tonight, man.
oh, for sure. Well, uh, first of all, no need, no apology necessary. And first, uh, we're here. Uh, and Reaper already alluded to this. We're here because of you. You're the one that you're the grand ringleader. So you're the one
Ah,
that
come
scooped
on, man. Y'all
everybody
too
up.
kind, man. Stop it, man.
No, hey. Usually the truth hurts, but in this case, oh no. Truth doesn't hurt at all, but it's the truth nonetheless. You're the one that's making all this happen. So, uh, big shout out to you first and foremost. Howdy, everybody. It's been a while, but that's right. Your boy Sherminator is back, and looking forward to hopefully spreading some gaming knowledge on the masses that happen to be tuning in right now. Um, Looking forward to a great show. And before we go any further, and he already mentioned it, big shout out to Microbox, Chris
Yes.
Stevens, over
Oh
there in
yeah.
the UK.
Yep.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
Big shout out to you, brother. Don't know if you're listening live or if you're going to listen later. But we've already had many conversations, not just with me, but I know Legal's had conversations with you
Yes.
and a bunch of other folks. You are
Yes.
beloved in these
Yes, man.
Xbox streets, brother. Beloved,
You.
and
Yeah. Go ahead.
we recognize that you're going through a lot.
Yes.
So you are definitely in our prayers,
Yes.
and as Legal likes to say, with amazing regularity. But hey, it's the truth. Once again, we're all family.
That's it,
So,
man.
Micro, if you're listening, anything you need, we got you.
That's it, man.
Believe that. We got you, brother. I mean, and Legal, I give you props because you earned it and it's the truth. But I got to keep it real.
That's right, man.
Micro was the one that convinced me to even
That's right. That's
get
facts.
involved with all of this, what we're doing right now.
That's right,
So,
man. Micro
he's
was.
always he's always gonna have a special place in my heart.
That's
So,
right, man.
so Micro, we got you. Anything you need, reach out to
That's
one
right.
of us. Hey, reach out to all of us. The more, the merrier.
That's
So,
right, man.
with that
Because of
being
my
said,
respect. Yeah.
no, go ahead.
No, no. I was just gonna say my respects towards him. It comes from a source of being a leader, man. I
Yeah,
remember, man. Microbox putting a lot into his group. He built an empire, and I can relate to that. He was one of the guys where our groups wasn't that big, man, but we over in time we just kept it, man. We just kept our group going, and the hard work
yeah.
paid off, man. We got some good Xbox fans across the board, man, and I just want to say salute to him and all his hard work, man, because I know where he comes from.
Man, you know
Yeah.
what? A lot of people don't recognize it. And I hope he doesn't have a problem with me giving him props on this level that I'm about to. But and Legal, you probably aware of this.
Right.
And a lot of you listening may be aware of it. And if you're not, you're about to become aware of it. Microbot, he easily falls, uh, in that category of being a kingmaker. You guys still there?
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
here.
no. I'm
Oh,
pretty
okay.
sure that people sometimes have to think about that real quick before they realize what you just said.
Yeah, no. Seriously, he's a kingmaker.
No, yeah,
Especially
definitely.
when it comes to this whole streaming podcast. I'm so tempted to name some names. One name in particular, where the brother is directly responsible for this guy's name being what it is right now here in the Xbox streaming. And unfortunately, the guy did Micro when, he got real big. He got too, as my grandmother used to say, he got too big for his britches.
Right.
So, um, um, Micro being the type of guy, he could raise a stink about it, and he would be in the right, 100%. But that's not his style. Micro is one of those guys that stand in the background, and he will do what has to be done to make sure. And he's not a hater. He's not a hater. He takes pleasure in making sure that the people who deserve their props get it. And Legal, you and I had this conversation about how you had a conversation with him recently
Right.
about bringing me along,
That's right.
and he was down with it. He was like, "Oh, man, no problem." I mean, that's just the type of guy. Micro is such a cool cat.
He
Really,
is, man.
really is.
Yeah,
And to me,
and he does a lot
to
too.
me personally,
Right.
right, for the things that he does, the things that he promotes, and just the way he goes about handling himself, he does not get the props that he rightly deserves. So
Right.
if nobody else is gonna do it, I want to.
We're doing it tonight,
do
man.
that tonight.
That's it.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, you know what? And another thing my grandmother used to tell me is that give people flowers while they still among you.
That's it, man.
Give them their props while they are able to receive it, while they can hear it and see it for themselves. So, you know, I that's, man, positive reinforcement. I'm all
Yeah, I
about
shot that helicopter down and got a diamond achievement. Yay. Because I suck at Call of Duty.
But
I'm no T Reaper when it comes
yeah.
to Call of Duty, boy.
But yeah, so Michael, hats off to you.
Yeah, Michael, hats off to you, man.
Yeah, but real quick though, I was totally unaware. I mean, I heard Reaper. I might be mistaken, man, but you might be the first to finish that in that mode.
Yeah, he's laughing at me,
when
man.
I
I'm
saw that-
0.12%.
when I saw that
0.12%.
a
There
few
isn't a
days
1 in
ago-
front of it, everybody. There's a 0.12% on my picture.
Right.
0.12.
Well,
So there's still 12 other people in front of me, but they're on like
Man.
0.12. It's not 1
Man.
point. It's not 2
But
points.
still.
It's one. It's like point.
Still.
Point. Yeah. No
Still,
zero in
I
front
mean,
of the point.
But don't still. With that being said, don't sell yourself short because
Yeah, that's
that
right, man.
there, that is an awesome achievement. That is not easy.
No,
When
it's
I
not.
saw that, I was impressed.
Yeah, that was
I
impressive,
wanted my
man.
Elite 2.0 to do that campaign because like you do it on a regular Elite, like you have to put those sensitivities all the way to 20. It has to be all the way on insane, otherwise that you cannot do realism for crap because that thing has to be wicked fast. And even if you had a mouse and keyboard, it would still be better. But I was hoping for the 2.0 to do it, but then I'm like, oh, it's not coming until November 4th. That's kind of a stupid, publishing concept. But anyway, so I went through it, took 9 hours. I did 3 recharges over 24 hours, and I actually got it to work on Thursday afternoon with that wonderful Australian trick. So that's what I was doing from 3 a.m. to 9 p.m. and then I woke up in the morning and I beat it. But it was really fun. Realism, as I don't blame the the health board for being. I do not blame them whatsoever. Actually, I do not. It was very, very, very authentic. But I really do think the multiplayer feels naturally now like the namesake Call of Duty. Like in 2003, I wanted
It
to
feels
go through
real
that
good.
multiplayer. It feels just like the namesake. It's like in 2003 that didn't really feel like Call of Duty, so they invented Battlefield. Well, now it actually does feel Call of Duty because you legitimately hear the Call of Duty going over the map as it's basically dropping airstrikes. So it's like, there you go. But I thought they did a phenomenal job. The realism was like 1 millisecond.
The realism
miss,
is
you're dead.
ridiculous, man. Like you play this on what is it? What's the two modes? Realism and veteran?
Realism, yeah, realism and veteran. But realism is the new mode. So realism is the new one that they just
It's ridiculous, man. Right.
Like you legitly, like you see someone go through that door, you have a millisecond to basically press that trigger. And that clean house level, like people like use hostages, so you have to be very precise because if you shoot the hostage, game over. You have to restart the level, or you have to restart the checkpoint. So
Yeah,
it's like
man,
really annoying. So sometimes when you basically clear the rooms in that level, basically you make a mistake and shoot like an innocent, it has to restart from checkpoint. So you have to be really precise. It's insane.
That's right, man.
So would
That
you
is no lie.
would you say based on your experience with it, would you say that mode literally qualifies to be used
I would say
by the military or by police
Yeah.
departments,
I
or-
would say that realism mode qualifies as an actual military simulator is what I would now say. That does qualify if you play it in
Wow.
that exact mode. But
Yeah,
see,
because
in
if you can't-
multiplayer,
you
that
get
mode
hit,
doesn't
man, you're
still,
done, like-
still doesn't exist. In multiplayer, that mode
Right.
still doesn't exist because it's that was for story-driven purposes, not multiplayer. Like multiplayer, for that realism to even happen, all you have to do is just make crossplay happen, and then bam, you automatically have like anarchy. You can spawn and die. You won't even have a chance to have a millisecond reaction. So I was like,
Wow.
the ground war was awesome. Like
That's true.
Is he still here?
I think Reaper had a technical difficulty. Go ahead, Sherman. Go ahead.
Oh no. It's just that everything that I heard about.
No, sorry,
that,
my controller died.
It's okay.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, my controller turned off. No, but I like the I enjoyed the concept that the of the whole thing, but I like how it's now crashing Xboxes. So it's like you have Xbox
Right.
One X crashing, you have S's crashing, and I'm like, that's to be expected. You're kind of
Wait.
comboing
Is
networking.
it crashing the Xboxes?
Yeah, it can do
See,
that.
I thought
It
Borderlands
did that to my...
was doing it. I thought Borderlands.
Yeah,
was the only one
Borderlands.
doing
Yeah,
that.
Borderlands is a worst case, worst issue because it's not technically crossplay. So it's like the way they're networking everything. It's like basically bouncing everything backwards. So some people, like I heard a lot of people complain like launch night was horrible. That is true because like the servers weren't working like halfway into the night, and then like come 2 a.m. in the morning they all turned back on. So I was like, that's kind of weird. So I had to finish like halfway through the story on an offline mode, but I still got the achievement for it, and then I went back online and then finished it. So I was like, oh whatever. But like,
So
I mean,
was it only crashing
you legitimately
during...
had like everybody coming in. Like you had PSNs, PC, Xbox, everybody now going into one server. That's kind of like a disaster, you know. All right.
Not really. Not when you had
night.
Not when you had the Azure. Not when you have the Azure. And that's
No,
what
not
they're
when
using,
you have the
man.
Azure, but when everybody's trying to connect for the first time simultaneously,
Oh,
yeah,
right.
that would be a big
Right.
problem.
That's exactly
Right,
right.
right.
Give it its first day of connection. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Give it its time to,
give it like a
give
week.
it its time
I
its
bet
work.
they'll
That's
fix all the
right.
bugs.
It'll all mellow out.
Give it a week,
That's
they'll
true.
fix all the bugs, and then like
That's
in
true.
another 2 years' time with another couple games, they'll get it like the simulation correct. Because I guess the issue now that everybody's kind of running into is like if you're on console, you're strictly with console. However, and I think this is how it works because they're trying to basically segregate each section. But if you are a section that plays with a PC friend, for example, or vice versa, you might go into those lobbies because I've been in those lobbies where it's like you have like console and PC users. So it really just depends on like the variation of where you go. But it was mad fun because like I heard someone went into a PC lobby and got absolutely crushed. I was like, that's because it was a PC lobby. That was fun. But then the sniping is gorgeous. I enjoyed the sniping, and then the tanks and the helicopters on ground war, absolutely so much fun.
So here's a question for you. When you completed it, were you just using your regular controller, or were you using a mouse and keyboard? Because it's my understanding
I was
that
using
game
my,
is compatible with a mouse and keyboard.
I was using my original lead is actually what I was using. I like the hair triggers is kind of what, and that's actually why I want the 2.0 because I want the
Exactly.
PC hair trigger. I want the
Exactly.
PC hair trigger is what I want.
Well, yeah, because that hair trigger on the 2.0 elite has three
that's a
settings,
piece,
doesn't it?
Yeah. I want the third setting is what I want because I only have the 2 settings on the first one, and
Yeah.
I think they should have done 3 settings from the very get-go. But they were like, well, we wanted to see how the first design worked. I'm like, okay, but it worked just fine. So. And then you have all a bunch of different Google, with the Google Stadia controllers and the new Scuff controllers. Blech. Like, I just want my 2.0.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that was.
Wait. Wait, is this game?
Stop
gonna be
running
available
around,
on
man.
Stadia?
Messing me up. See that dude from way back there?
For lag's sake, I dearly hope not, but I wouldn't put
Yeah,
Google past it.
Exactly. Legal,
I
have you
would
heard
put
anything
Google
about
past it.
that?
No, I haven't.
Because Stay's not even out yet. Stay's not even launched yet.
Yeah, but Stadia, Google has been promoting. Yeah, well, we got a few big.
I
names
wouldn't
that
put
are
it past
coming
them.
to
They
our
want to make
platform.
money, so put as many titles on that platform as possible.
But the lag, I mean.
Oh yeah, that's
Wow.
why xCloud is better than Stadia because xCloud does not require as much lag, or if any, period, because of the way it's designed.
Right, and it doesn't rely off of just one source. It's all devices. As long as you got a either you got a stable
and
internet or you have a stable
connection.
That's right, service connection. That's
But
it.
Stadia
right,
goes from
right.
like
Either stable
from
service
point A to
connection or
point B to point C, whereas xCloud just goes from point A to point B.
that's right.
There's no extra step to get to the thing.
And even
But,
better,
yeah.
Even better if you've got a really strong 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi connection.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I
You're
have
gonna do
that.
real good.
Yeah, I have that.
You're gonna do real
Yeah, I
good.
have that. No, I had a friend who tried downloading Modern Warfare on launch night, and he let it download overnight, and it was only on 30%. I'm not joking. He legitimately came over my
Wow.
apartment, and within 25 minutes, it was downloaded.
Wow.
Yeah, that 5G's nice. I've had it. Yeah, and fiber optics is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fiber optics, so much better. I wish I had Verizon. I wish I had them. Not available in this building, though. It's right down the street. Not available in the building. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is.
That hurt.
That's how it is. Yeah, that's how it is, man. That's exactly how it is. But look, what do you guys think about Microsoft for the year 2019, man? And all the games that are coming out in the future, and what are they doing? What do you guys think about the marketing? What they're doing right now as far as marketing and any other things that y'all can come up with? What do you think? The goods, the bads?
Well, I think the good concept of it is that the Game Pass is working. You can totally pay attention to that, obviously. But I also think that a lot of people, if they want to pick Xbox, please make sure it's the console that you enjoy, not because your friends say you will enjoy it, or because, certain person says you need to buy Xbox to play Gears and not to play Minecraft, for example, or you need to play, you need to get Xbox to go play Call of Duty and not PlayStation. No, play where you want to play, and nobody else's opinion matters except your own, because you're the one spending the money and the time and investment in actually this hobby. So make sure it's something that you want to play, But at the same time, Xbox, infrastructure is online, cooperation based. So, we do exist to play online games. It's not like Sony where everything is solo player and everything is, narrative driven, focused, which I think is the big damage right now. Everything's versus narrative versus, no identity, which I think is not true whatsoever, because Xbox has always been that, that wonderful space where it doesn't need an identity because it's for everybody.
Well,
because
that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Whereas whereas Nintendo's for the wonderful handheld and the Mario, Zelda, everybody that loves that classic, that classic feel. PlayStation loves the narrative, and then Xbox basically drove it with the cooperative, online competitive, console concept couch.
Right.
But at the same time, everybody, I understand, the need. Everybody wants exclusives. Everybody wants a reason to own something. But you do realize that even if I, even hypothetically, if I gave you those reasons and you still didn't like those reasons, you still wouldn't buy it. No one is going to give you reasons to buy product except your own personal self-interest. So it's
you know what? That's true.
No,
and you know
you're
what?
not going to want it unless
games,
you personally want it.
Right, and the thing about gaming is, man, it's never been about that, man. It's always been about community. It's always been about that,
and fun.
Man. Like when we
and fun,
right?
and fun.
Exactly. Nobody
fun entertainment.
Where the origins of gaming came from, man. It's a big audience on gaming machines, and you know what? You're just playing the game that you want to play, and that's it, man. Nobody's really caring about what gaming machine you're playing on, and that's just the way it is, man. I mean, all this other stuff happened is because it's a certain group of people that only know about that, and that's what they think gaming is supposed to be. That's because they grew up on just that. They think gaming is exclusive content and all that. Well, exclusive content is nice, but that's not gaming. I mean, that doesn't define gaming. Gaming is just gaming, man. You can game on anything. That's why we got handheld gaming, we got console gaming, we got PC gaming, we got tablet gaming.
But we have all that stuff now because when this wonderful, culture was being developed, no one knew what direction to go in because it had never been invented before. So you had to basically search the community. All right, which is the pillars that we build this wonderful world on? And first it was, the side scrollers, and then it was the FPSs, and then it's the third person, and then, and it goes on and on and on throughout history. But the whole thing is, at the very beginning, it was just to have fun. It wasn't, it wasn't this complicated, because everybody's like, oh, what difficulty did you do it on, or did you, or did you speed run it? And I'm like, I come from a time where difficulty wasn't even actually invented yet.
That's right. That's right.
Well,
that's kind of
the fun and ironic.
That's foreign language.
You're telling me something that I was born before,
that's
so it doesn't matter to me. Like
it doesn't even
it's
matter.
mad funny. Like I pre-existed.
That's true.
But
Yeah,
But
back
like,
in the
but
day, you didn't have a difficulty setting.
No, you played that
no.
bad boy just the way it was, man. That's
And
it.
if you couldn't beat it,
And
you
if it was a,
couldn't beat it.
that's
Flat
it.
out.
Because if it was a, that's right. Because if it was a hard game, it was a hard game.
Right,
It wasn't
right,
changing for you. Right, it wasn't
right.
changing for you.
That's
Unbelievable.
very true.
Well, game save system is full.
Yo, one
That's
thing
very
about
true.
it, man.
Uh-oh.
One thing about it. I'm telling you, man. This mode is unforgiving, man. It is unforgiving.
Okay.
I am no T
keep
Reaper
at
when it
it.
comes to this, man. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna play it.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I
normally
was gonna
cloud. Yeah,
say.
normally
You're
the
gonna
cloud
die.
system sometimes can
But
like.
it's so fun.
Yeah. Oh
man.
yeah. You're gonna.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull a T Reaper, man. I don't care if it takes everything I got. I'm gonna beat this game, man. But no, guys, you guys are dead on it, man. I mean, my opinion on the marketing strategy of Microsoft, man, with them being quiet the way they are and executing by keeping the Xbox name alive out there. That's all it takes, man. It's just keeping its name going, man, because we got a big year coming up. You don't want to be half stepping on the marketing, man, when we got this ultra computer gaming console about to hit the market soon, man. You want a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I think it's good to have a few commercials here, a few commercials there, but don't overdo it, man. Just don't overdo it.
No. Yeah.
Well,
Don't overdo it because
What?
every time we do it, you get all this hatership, and you want to just keep it to
Well,
where people can see what's going on. And I think Game Pass is promoting it real well, man.
Yeah, that's true. Now that is very true, and I agree with everything that both of you have said. I want to approach it from a slightly different angle, however. You know,
Unbelievable.
this whole thing, as far as the success of Xbox
I'm gonna find me
this
another
year,
side. I'm gonna
and
go around this way.
especially towards next year, towards 2020.
Right.
The Microsoft just released their earnings for this past quarter, and I don't know if you guys are aware. The overall, they after they paid all their bills and everything,
Right.
they basically had somewhere in the neighborhood of between 10 and 20 billion dollars left to do whatever they want to do with.
Good for you.
So, yeah.
Way to go,
So,
Microsoft. Way to go, Microsoft.
Yeah,
That's called making
yeah.
money. There you go.
Exactly. So after all their bills were paid, they had between 10 and 20 billion dollars to just if they just want
Right.
to sit on it, that's fine. If they want to go buy another studio, that's fine. If they want to spend all that on research and development, that's cool.
Right.
The bottom line is they had roughly around $20 billion to just do whatever. All their bills are paid. So the way I'm viewing as far as what's going on with them this year. Now, interestingly, when they got specific, if you read the specifics as far as which division of the company did what, as far as how much revenue they brought in, versus this time last year, the Xbox division basically stayed unchanged. So now,
Yeah, it
for
did.
some
Just
people-
by yeah.
all right. Now, for some people, they would view that as, oh, see, they're not doing but but if you think about it, that's kind of it should be expected, simply because everybody that's even remotely into gaming knows that this generation is winding down. So if you haven't already made that move, if you don't have an Xbox One, or an Xbox One X, if you don't have, wow, that's funny. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
man.
still hear.
Oh,
Hey, you
okay.
doing good,
No,
son?
that's
Keep going, man.
that's it. No. Cortana did something stupid on my end just a second ago.
I got rid of her, man.
Yeah, I think she was getting jealous that I'm not talking
Right.
to her. So, but the fact that we're winding down, this generation is winding down, and then the new generation is technically starting up, due to start up next year, it's to be expected that those who haven't already jumped on the Xbox bandwagon, they're probably playing the waiting game. And for those that have, well, look, if you're like me, and I don't know how many people are, but if you're like me, you've got a totally insane backlog in your hard drive.
Yeah.
So
I got
now,
I have 2 things on backlog now. I finally actually made one.
You know what? Wow, just 2. Wow, I'm impressed because you know what? My backlog is so stupid. My backlog is so insanely stupid. I'm embarrassed to go into to give you a specific number. Seriously, it's one of those things where, as Legal said earlier, real life kicks in, and you may have every intention on, okay, I'm going to knock this game off the park. Oh, I just downloaded it, and I'm good to go. And you might be able to hit it once, or maybe
this crap takes energy. A lot of people don't comprehend that. They're like,
yes,
you play video games, it's such a waste of time, you're not doing anything with it. I'm like, no, buddy, I'm building my body. Trust me, I'm building my body. You just don't know what version of my body is building. Trust me, it's building. Yeah, but it also drains your body as well, which you got to be really careful about that. You got to be way careful.
And that's true.
Yeah.
And no, it's true. It's just one of those things where people tend to forget what you just mentioned. So how does that convert to the whole, well, the sales are kind of flat, they're unchanged, basically. Well, people are getting ready for the next generation. The sales aren't in the negative, but they're just running pretty steady. So when it comes to what's going to happen the rest of the year, my prediction is that it's going to be, one of those scenarios where, okay, we're chugging along, everything's cool. We've got a few major things hitting right now, which a couple of days ago, Outer Worlds just hit. A month previous, Gears 5 hit. So, there's a couple of other things that are coming towards the end of the year, leading up to, the Christmas holiday season, and then into the beginning of next year. So I find it very interesting simply because a lot of the things that were originally slated to release this year have actually been pulled back. And it makes perfect sense because if you're a developer and you've been working on a game for 3-4 years and it's almost ready like now, I mean, it probably wouldn't hurt to oh, wait a minute, we got this new system coming out and we got
you'll probably make more profit if you basically sell it.
Right, exactly. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that this year, this year so far has been, I think, a really good year for Xbox and Microsoft from a revenue standpoint, even from a mind share standpoint.
Yeah.
Nothing negative has been hitting as far as the Xbox brand. You've had one major departure in management, upper management, but I would love for us to talk about that in a few, because I've got some observations about that. And besides that, everything's been basically smooth sailing for Microsoft and the Xbox brand in general. Now, here's what I find interesting. If you guys are just willing to indulge me for a second, here's what I find very interesting. My prediction, I would like to make a prediction towards 2020 and beyond. Microsoft, if you really think about it, Microsoft has been taking steps to render the entire concept, of what we know right now as the console war and who's making the most money and who's number one as far as game
They're
sales,
finding a way
console sales.
to dissolve that and make it absolutely
Yes,
pointless
yes.
to the point where
Yes, it's gonna
all
be a
that
moot
matters
issue.
for the industry is revenue, and that's it.
Right. Microsoft is being very, very smart.
But you want to
They're
know
very,
how they're doing that?
they're being very
But you,
smart how they're
but
doing
you know,
it, though. They're
but
very
you want to
smart.
know how they're doing that? They're doing that by knowing that they're the top dog, and slowly watching everybody bleed out to get to where they need to have their Microsoft services. They're not sitting up here
Yeah.
actually. They don't have to sit up here and say, well, this is what we're gonna do because nobody has a choice. No, they're gonna let them make choices. The thing is,
Right.
Microsoft knows that the industry. Look, they're a $1 trillion company. Do you actually
Right.
think that the industry moves forward without Microsoft not knowing it? Do you know, like when we get these games, right? When we get new games, who gets them before we do? Of course, successful broadcasters or YouTubers, and they're
Oh,
not
of
just
course.
they're not just anybody, right? They're people that got what, millions of followers. They get it first,
Yeah.
so
Right.
they'll get the new console first. Okay, people. So if they're doing that on a slow scale, on a small scale like that, right? What do you think they're doing on a big corporate scale? They do the same thing. They tell these companies what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
Microsoft, being the stable one, says, okay, we'll be moving in this direction. Now, this is how you know who's who. Whichever company doesn't move in that direction first tells you who's who. That's just the bottom line. That's just how easy it is. And when you see Microsoft being as innovative as they are, they can move first. They got power.
Yeah.
They got
And
power.
like,
When you see people, that's why you
and
hear
when you
people
see,
say,
you know,
"Oh, somebody's gonna follow somebody." You know, we don't know no name calling. We know who I'm talking about. But when you hear that type of talk,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. Because big
Yeah,
bank is
but when you
always
see
gonna
it-
take little bank. Always.
when you see Microsoft going to Korea to check out xCloud, I mean, something's up.
Right.
You got to pay attention because he knows what he's doing, unfortunately, and
You
no
know
one
what?
really is paying attention to what he's doing. So it's like
Exactly.
kind of funny. It's like it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
capture Android, you can then do Apple, then just go all around the board. But it's just like I think it's he's like, I want to reach 2 billion gamers. 2 billion people don't own consoles, people. 2
That's
billion
right.
people don't own PCs.
That's right.
So, you know
When
what
you
2
think
billion
about
people
that-
do mostly
Right.
own, though? They do own mobile, though. Just that.
Mobile phone,
Right.
mobile device.
Why do you think?
tablet.
Now watch what T.
Right.
Reaper said. Now, right? What T. Reaper said,
Right.
right? Why do people now people can see why Konami did what they did. Konami did what they did because Konami knew, man. I already know what Microsoft is about to do. We're gonna get on out of here now and go be successful in mobile games before the cloud gets thick and it turns gray and then we got a severe thunderstorm coming. Because that's what's going to happen. That little smiley little cloud that Microsoft has as the Azure, it's right now it's a little cumulus cloud sitting up in the skies, white and puffy, and looks cute. That bad boy is about to get dark soon, man. Tornadoes and hurricanes are going to be coming out of that bad boy. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Why right.
I like that. I like
That's
that.
exactly right.
I like
And
that.
when those
That's
when
deep.
them that's it. And when them storms start coming, what do people say? What do people do? They run to safety. Well, I'm here to tell you guys that there's some companies that already have felt the storm, and there's one that's using Live, and there's one that's using Azure Cloud. That's it. The Azure, I'm sorry. The Azure Cloud.
Yeah,
That's
Azure,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, the Azure
Azure,
Cloud. Yeah. So that's it. There's no debating that cloud, man. That it's a small little gentle name. It's harmless saying cloud, but yeah, you gotta understand, man. Clouds can get harmless, They're not always
Clouds can
cute
be
and white in the
deadly.
sky.
Yeah, oh yeah. Especially if they're silent right over you. They're
That's
not
right.
even paying
Clouds
attention to
can
what's
be
above you.
extremely
They can be-
deadly,
they can
right?
be
Given the
extremely
right
deadly.
environmental circumstances.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Yeah.
You just said it
I like
right
that.
there. Look what he said, Reaper, right? Under certain circumstances, right? Under certain circumstances. So what is it? When a thunderstorm happens, it happens under certain circumstances. So the circumstances within the industry had to accommodate the cloud. In order to get this severe thunderstorm, there had to have been elements in
Yeah. And
Right.
you guys gotta remember this cloud was built back way back in early 2000s. It was like
Exactly.
Right.
built just for Xbox Live originally, and then they basically
Right.
expanded on it. And now we use this cloud every single day, and people don't even notice it.
And don't
it's
even
on
notice
everybody's
it, man.
phone. It's on everybody's loading screens. It's everywhere.
Right.
Especially if you invested in Microsoft. If you got Windows 10, it's there.
Mm.
It's all there.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, by default.
By default, everybody has a cloud on their cell phone.
Yeah.
Or
Exactly.
At least on everything
Exactly.
that they own.
So
Whether it
now,
be by different types of clouds. What they need to do is combine all the clouds now. Is what they actually need to do to make everything
They
work
won't do that.
simultaneously.
They won't do that because the reason being, man, the clouds don't work on the same. They don't. Okay, here's the thing.
Well, no, not
They
don't work
do
on the same
different
frequency right
things.
now.
No,
saying,
no, it
I'm
ain't even
saying
frequency.
If you got them all on the same frequency.
No. It's not even about the frequency. It's about what they're being used for. All the clouds are not being used for the same purposes. That's why that won't happen. That's why it won't happen. The Amazon cloud is being used totally different.
I'm just saying, like, if you took like because the Azure is just one point, just one piece of the puzzle. There's other pieces that they all have to make work together eventually, and that's what they need to do to make the storage invincible.
Clouds can suck and block out the sun. That's it. I mean,
yeah, it's like a complete absorption. It's just like that humongous cloud that was innocent and then just absorbs all the heat and then just sits there. Like a storm, like a storm is about to come, but never rains.
That's it, man. So,
but see, would you? But in reality, would you really want to have? Okay, so you got the Azure cloud system, and then you got Google's cloud system. And
that would be one of the most technological messes on this planet.
Yeah, exactly.
If something went wrong with it, that's why you got to do it right the first time.
Well, see, and that's the point I was getting at. Would you really want that? Because
no, you don't.
Maybe it's because Terminator Dark Fate just came out, but I just got this Skynet paranoia.
Right.
And I'm good. I'm cool. I'm good. Let Azure be Azure. Let Amazon's cloud be Amazon's cloud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like, say if Amazon's cloud wants to act stupid and try and take over the world on its own, well then
we
Azure
got one to
could
combat
be like, okay,
Right.
Yeah. But if you want to say we're gonna combine them all.
Now you're gonna make a Cerebro.
No.
Now you're gonna make a Cerebro. And even Cerebro got mad at Professor X. He got tired of being got tired of being an AI.
or because and I hear you. But me being kind of a DC guy, then you're gonna have a Brainiac scenario.
That's right.
And
that's right.
And it's like where does it?
Right. When the PC starts saying. When the PC starts having reaction feelings, that's crazy.
Right. Remember, Stephen Hawking, before he passed away, he warned the scientific community, don't get carried away with this whole AI development. Because if you do, and if it
malfunctions,
Right. Exactly. So, I'm not against AI, but it kind of. I'm good with having limitations.
Fix your stuff. We got somebody in here. We can tell.
We got Hebot.
Right. We can tell the frequencies have already changed. So Hebot, make sure your stuff is fixed. Make sure your stuff is checked because we're getting high frequency now. And I'm bouncing again, and I hate bouncing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's echo like a mug right now. It's horrible.
Yeah, we're all echoing.
I believe Hebot's on his phone.
Yeah, it's not doing good, man, at all.
Yeah, it says he's using the Xbox app.
Wait a minute, it just stopped.
Wait a minute. I think he fixed it.
Well, then if he's still here and it's fixed, he's got it. Whatever he just did, it worked. Okay, go ahead, guys. Keep going. But when he comes in, though, we're gonna get him to introduce him. We'll get his introduction.
Okay, that'll work. Yeah, that'll work. So, but you know what? This would be the perfect time to segue into what we were briefly discussing before we started the show, where Legal, you mentioned that Microsoft landed that big, gigantic contract with the U.S. military, I believe.
That's right.
So why don't you tell us about that?
Well, what ended up basically happening in a nutshell was the military decided to go with Microsoft's cloud instead of Amazon's cloud because what was going on, the deepness of that, what's not really being told, is exactly what you just said. Actually, Sherminator, I didn't want to say anything about it, but there is a cyber war going on. As a matter of fact, I think
Mm.
that what's been attacked was Windows 2500. If correct me if that's not what it's called, but I think it was called Windows 2500. I don't know what that was. I didn't use it, but that's what was initially attacked. So Microsoft went on in. They got the okay from the government. They went to the Pentagon. They've been working together. Them and Amazon were called. They were working together, but I think our president doesn't really like the boss of Amazon because it's a billionaire thing,
All
and
right,
the
that's
boss of Amazon
true.
basically makes more money than
Yeah.
our president, and we got a
Right.
ce-
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
we got a
Amazon dude
celebrity,
pretty cool though. He funny
right?
though.
We
He
got a
knows some people
celebrity,
don't like him.
right? We got a celebrity president, and that's what it is. And so it's right
Right.
now it's a little funny. So what our president does, man, when he doesn't get his way, he sucks his thumb. So what ended up happening was I think he just took Amazon for a joyride, and then at the end he was like, you know what, I'm going Microsoft. And hey, man, Azure Cloud won. I
That's
mean,
interesting.
here we are.
That's really
You know,
interesting.
yeah. And so now who's gonna be up against Skynet?
And that would be
It's Azure,
Azure.
man.
Microsoft.
That's it. That's
Azure.
it. And they don't have a problem.
And that's
And they don't have a
and
problem
that's
doing it
President's dollars
because
right there too.
right, because they don't have a problem doing it because their platform is what got attacked. So it only
Yep.
makes sense. It's like, you know what? Payback for payback now, brother. They finna go at it.
Well, you know what? But you know what? That's actually wow. You're making me realize. You're reminding me of certain things, and it makes perfect sense because if you recall, I want to say was it 2015, 2016 holiday
Right.
season when
Right.
North Korea did the DDoS attack.
That's right.
And remember they shut down. They totally shut down Sony. I mean,
Yeah, they did.
It was the
PlayStation
Force
Network.
Awakens. It was the Force Awakens launch night.
Right, exactly. And so, well, it was the Force Awakens, and it was the movie with Seth Green, I believe. The one where he was making fun of North Korea.
The Interview is what that's called. Yeah,
Yeah, The
that's a very
Interview.
good movie. Yeah, but see, then
The
they
Interview.
didn't want to put it in movie theaters because it was too controversial. So they just put it straight on Netflix, and everybody watched it that exact instant.
And everybody watched it that way, but then North Korea found out, and then they shut down because it was a Sony Pictures release. They shut
Yeah.
down
That's true.
Sony's servers and all that. So now, what I find interesting about you take that, and then fast forward to now Microsoft getting that military contract. If you guys recall, during that holiday season, when they shut down PlayStation Network, and then they shut down Xbox Live.
We came back like an hour later.
No, it was 14 hours.
In
14
full
hours.
disclosure, it was between 14 and 24 hours.
Right.
It wasn't.
It was 14
it was
for me
less
because
than
I
a
remember
day.
it. Yeah, let's. Oh yeah,
Yeah, it
Okay.
was
definitely.
less
Well,
than a day.
I remember when I
But-
came home from watching the Star Wars, and I
you
automatically
was back
able
on?
to get back on, and I was able to get back on just
Wow,
fine.
that's impressive. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
That's
the
very
blackout only
impressive.
lasted for me for like an hour once I got home.
Wow. See, that's very impressive. But
For me, it was only
but for the-
2 hours.
Oh, well, here's
See.
Hebot. Well, Hebot is in
Oh,
here.
what's
Yeah.
If you
going
can
on?
hear it, yo, Ramp, can you hear
Brother
Hebot?
Hebot.
Let me know if you can hear him, cause he's on
Yeah, I can
another
hear him.
device.
I can hear
I
him.
muted. I muted myself because of the echo.
No, I'm not us. We can hear him. I'm talking about the people that are listening
Oh,
to
you're
the
gonna
show.
hear? Yeah, you can hear me because on the phone app they put
You
in
can
the
hear it?
inclusion of add your audio.
Got
They
you.
put it up.
Well, we got the mighty Hebot in here, the most powerful exposition in the universe.
Yes,
Hebot,
sir.
introduce yourself, man.
Brother Hebot.
What? No, just here, guys. Welcome. We're trying to. What I do?
What I do,
What
what
I
I
Oh,
do?
do.
come on.
You know who
Come
I am.
on.
We do.
Right.
That's so funny.
Yo, wait, this is
Oh,
not. Wait, wait,
hey,
wait, wait.
what did
Wait.
he
I
about?
just gotta say
He
this.
about coming in? Well,
I just
well,
gotta say
dang,
this,
man, I do
fellas.
what I do. I got a
Wait,
sandwich in my hand. I'm eating. I'm here. I mean, come on,
wait,
guys. I
No,
mean,
wait.
no,
do
Let
I
me,
have to do this
wait,
every
they want.
time?
No, no, no,
guys,
no.
wait. Let me just say this real quick.
Go ahead, bro.
I don't know this guy who I'm looking at the icon and it says
Mm,
Hebot, but I don't know who
Alex
you
and
are.
Commander Kareem's forces have
good.
destroyed General Barkov's forward
What have
Right.
you
operations
done with the
teams,
real Hebot?
temporarily
Because the
limiting
real
Russian air
Hebot
capability in air
is
systems.
like this
We need to move
this
fast.
lightning bolt of energy. The
Some
only
counted.
thing that's missing
Thanks
from
to
him
your
would be
intel,
for him
we
to say
tracked the
Shazam.
Alcatraz cell
I mean,
receptors
it's
and
like,
already attacked
Well,
I
the
mean,
normal Hebot isn't awake at 12:47 a.m. in the morning.
Right, right.
Uh, okay,
well,
okay,
I
but
don't
okay.
know. No,
He's in
wait.
possession
I
of the
don't
stolen
know
injection gas
because
and has
Hebot and
exploded.
I have communicated on Xbox
The
Live when
advised.
he was doing a late night
Maybe
gaming session at
non-combatants
like
on
2 o'clock in the morning.
Take your shots.
So,
Fine.
I've woken up at 4 a.m., but doesn't
All
Yeah.
right,
affect me.
I apologize. Let me start
Look,
again.
look. Yeah, go back,
My
go back.
apologies.
Come on,
Let me
do it.
start
This
again.
is so
Sorry.
funny, dude. Do your thing.
Ah, yeah, señoras y señores,
That's it,
I'm
brother.
back.
That's it. That's it, man.
There it is. That's
Boy,
more
that was so
appropriate.
funny.
No
That was
problem.
so funny. He about
that's
to come
who
over
I
here and say,
remember.
"Yeah." He was like, "Gosh, do I have to do?" It was so.
Bienvenidos to Di-RREC Gaming.
That's it. That's it. Good
How
to
you doing,
have him.
Hebot?
How you doing, Ebot?
I'm just tired, man. I'm
Yeah,
fucking
man.
tired. That's all.
Boy, I know, man. It's
Wait,
all good, brother.
did
It's
that
all
shout? Did that shout take everything that you had left out of you?
Nah, not entirely. No, just
Okay, all
tired.
right.
I'm in
But
pain.
Okay,
man,
I'm
because
in,
I was about
I'm
to
in
feel,
pain.
I was about to feel guilty.
we're in here
No,
discussing. We're in here discussing some things, y'all. Elaborate to him and catch him up on some things, and we'll just get Ebot's side of view on it, man.
well, it's nice to know that people appreciate my lunacy. That's a good thing,
It's
but
all good, man. It was just funny, man. The way you did it, man. It is hilarious. That was real. It was real. I was like, y'all know who I am, and y'all know what I do. Do I have to explain myself again? That was so funny, man. Do I really have to do
Right,
this? Yeah, it was so
right.
funny, man. That was
I
funny.
ask myself that every time I go into a mall parking lot, and I have to pay for a parking ticket every time I go to work.
No food on the
well,
stove.
There's no photo. Well, I had pasta and I had sausages earlier today. I really shouldn't have eaten that for Alfredo because I have a stomach ache, so I can feel you with that pain.
Yeah, man. It's
Oh,
crazy, man.
so what
well,
is the scoop? Well, I know what he's talking about. I heard you were talking about the deal that they snubbed off. They snubbed from Amazon where they got $10 billion
yeah,
for them to
yeah.
use the Azure cloud for the defense forces. For I think it's
For the
what's it
military,
called? Yeah, just yeah, it's called something for the defense secretary of defense or something like that. I know.
yeah, some
Yeah,
type of cyber defense thing.
it's the world's own
She
version
had
of
a daggum
Skynet,
gun.
basically.
Finna pop
Yeah,
It
all
came out
three
yeah.
of them.
today.
Son.
The dirt came out today, I think, right? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, you.
What were you saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It came out today, I believe, that news or something like that. I think it was today, if I'm not
Yeah, it was either
mistaken.
yesterday or today.
Then they were like he
So,
was talking about that they did some layoffs in Japan as well.
who did?
Sony.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. I
did
heard.
they
Oh,
really?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, nah, I
yeah,
yeah. I
didn't
heard
hear
yeah.
about
that.
that.
That's
Yeah, I heard about that.
just like they did the UK house without letting them know or something like that. That's what they were, that was another one that was out there today. And then
I
the
heard
IGN.
Ubisoft's on hold too.
Oh yeah. They just pushed some stuff back. Well, that makes sense, dude.
Yeah.
New consoles are around the corner. They've been having kind of
Right.
bad slack. So
Yeah.
they're trying to make up for some of that slack. By pushing back, trying to polish. They gotta try to take away this gas model, man. If they don't do that, it's gonna come to a point where gamers gonna get tired of it. They're not gonna. There was too much of that this generation, so they gotta start fresh next gen.
Yeah.
They gotta figure out another way to make that money, but without kind of making it forced. You know what I mean? Even though I know why they do it, to try to make some money extra because not all games sell in the level that something like Call of Duty or GTA or Red Dead sell. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah,
why they do that.
you got to
But
make up for lost profit somehow.
yeah, well, people, it's expensive making games. People don't think so.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
That's why you don't
yeah.
see
It's
those
very
triple
expensive.
A's no more.
Exactly,
People,
because it's too
people think,
expensive. They don't want to waste the money.
oh no, it's no big deal. Oh, it is a big deal. It's not cheap.
Nope,
It's not cheap.
not cheap.
Definitely not
So
cheap.
what else you guys were talking and mingling about?
Oh, nothing, man. You just
Uh,
come up with your own thing, man. We're just talking about
yeah.
2019 and
We
what we think about
yeah.
Microsoft's position right now, man. So it's open, man. Anything that you want to talk about within
Right now?
2019 that you think, yeah, that you think Microsoft is doing great with, not great with, or where do you stand? That's
While
pretty
this
much
guy's
Well, I
going
mean,
that's pretty
through
much
a
what we're talking about.
night vision
well, I mean, you
escalator or staircase.
they're in a position. They're in a good position right now because
Yeah,
they acquired some studios. They've announced them for the last couple of years. Um, and studios that, although not known to be big studios, but their games have been critically acclaimed. You know what I'm trying to say? Where
right.
they're well received because they're very good, they have good quality, a lot of potential, and where they've been, that unfortunately they've been stuck under umbrella where they haven't had a lot of money. For example, like the people in Exile, which they blatantly came out and said, I was going to retire. That I postponed my retirement because Microsoft bought us, and now we got the money and the power of manpower that we need to help us do whatever we want to achieve. So, it's a good thing that they basically help save them as a developer. And let's be honest, Microsoft's been doing this the entire generation. Microsoft went forth the beginning of this generation. The first thing they did was they saved Titanfall because Respawn went to Sony. They said no, we don't want that. We have our own thing. Microsoft said okay. They greenlit it. Sunset Overdrive with Insomniac. They went to Sony. We want to make the game, but we want to keep the IP as well. No, we want more photorealistic style games this generation. Plus, we want to have the rights to the IP. If not, we don't want to, we don't want to do a deal. And since they've already owned everything that Insomniac's ever made, they said no. Ted Price went to Microsoft. Hey, listen, what do you think? And they were full steam ahead. They took the deal. Then they did their Rising 3. They did it exclusive because they completely funded it for Capcom. Because they were thinking that it wasn't going to do too well. And then, after they did that, you saw how when they did 4, oh, it's going to be time because I guess Capcom, since they saw they had success with 3, oh, well, we should go on the other platform selling well and it'll probably do well. And then it went on PS4, part 4, and it didn't sell, okay, at all. Which proves that, it's only Xbox gamers that embrace that game or that series. And then you see that they went and the guy from Minecraft, Mojang or whatever his name
Yeah,
is,
Mojang.
the
Yeah,
owner,
right,
he's
right.
like, listen, this is overbearing. I can't take this. I can't deal with it. You guys have the power, the resource. I will sell it to
That's
you guys.
right.
Just take care of it for me.
Yeah, I don't
Would
want to.
you
He
would
he
you
was
would you
he
mind
hit his.
buying?
Yeah, he wanted to go live a life. He wanted to travel. He made
It
6 billion,
was just
man.
too much for
He's
him because
good.
by
Yeah.
himself. And what they said, oh, okay, we'll give you 2.6. That's good enough. That's fair. Absolutely, they made that up in 6 months. Then let's go. What happened to after that? He went to Epic before they released Fortnite, and what they said, listen, we want Gears of War because you guys are not gonna do nothing with it. What do you want to do? Will you sell it to us? Yeah, absolutely. How much you want for it? Give us 235 mil. Okay, done. He got Gears of War, got Rob Ferguson, changed. They decided we want to change from
My man walking right in the
Black Tuck
door and then he getting
Studios.
shot at.
It, he wanted to change from Black Tuck Studios to Coalition to signify what they were as the Gears developers, the primary Gears developers. Boom! What they did, they made Gears. Gears is back in a big way. What else they do? They went to Moon Studios. Moon Studios, independent company, didn't have really a lot of money. They came to them. Oh, listen, can we make this game through the indie space? Can you help us fund it? They funded it. They brought it out. Bam! They didn't buy Moon Studios because they weren't really a studio. There are people that are all over the place, like around the world, and they talk like through the internet, and that's how they made that game. That's why they don't consider themselves a studio, but they funded Oreo. And what do we have? An amazing Metroidvania style game in this generation that appealed not only to the retro family and the retro guys like us, but to the new age kids with a beautiful story, beautiful setting, beautiful gameplay, beautiful graphics that may not appeal to people like, let's say, T Reaper, because I know T Reaper is not really into that style of stuff. But nonetheless, T Reaper knows it belongs in the space because other people do appreciate it, because he could respect that. And it did very well. And now, we're getting a sequel. Same thing like the guys at Cuphead. They refinanced their house 3 times. They were about to go bankrupt, and they went to Microsoft ID. Oh, listen, we'll help you fund it with Studio MDHR. Boom. They saved Cuphead, brought it out. Same thing with the people of Super Lucky Still. Same exact scenario. They couldn't finish it. The game was originally a VR game. Didn't do shit. It's flopped. They wanted to do a real traditional 2D, 3D style. They came to Microsoft. Microsoft said, absolutely, just make it exclusive. They did that as well.
You are
Boom, brought it out.
witnessing students of the game. Continue, Heba.
Yeah.
This is what students of the game sound like. If you don't sound like this, you ain't no student of the game. It's coming straight from the gut. Straight
My
from the
brother,
gut.
this is what
They want everybody to have fun. They don't care what game you make as long as you enjoy what you make and as long as it's for the consumer.
Well, Reaper,
Another
very
thing-
good point.
That's good.
Very
but
good
another
point.
thing, Heba, let me come in real quick.
Go ahead.
What has to be known is this.
Interject.
Here's what has to be known. This is what has to be known to understand why these things are happening the way they're happening.
The more we find out.
What's happening is you have one company that is self-integrated with massive resources, and you have other companies that aren't. The companies that aren't, and the governance and powers that will be, have come to these companies that are self-integrated, and they make them have antitrust laws. What they do is they say, hey, look, you got too many innovative people on your team, and it's unfair to all of us people who don't. And what happens is they take them to court. You're either going to settle out massive amount of money, which is insulting to you, or you're going to battle your way to your freedom. A lot of companies settled. That's why they started. That's why they thought they were going to be able to get that Microsoft money with them for 12 years, people. 12 years. Prior to that 12 years, in the 90s, AMD, Nvidia, they didn't like Microsoft. IBM didn't like Microsoft. OpenGL didn't like Microsoft. You got to read about this stuff. You just don't know it. You're just thinking that this stuff is just happening. If anybody, I've never seen Microsoft so transparent until this DICE show this year, early spring. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to YouTube and put in the DICE show for Xbox. That young lady came up on that stage and she was talking about her story between her and her father, who's still a gamer to this day. And she was talking about how Microsoft now has obtained the 3 keys to this industry. 3 keys. Now, if you listen carefully to what I was talking about, there's 3 times that Microsoft had to do this. Once in the 80s was with IBM, once in the 90s with all the open sources, and then in the 2000s with the antitrust laws. Microsoft is one of the only companies now that has no shackles on it. They can't shackle this company no more. The worst thing that's ever happened is happening, and that is Microsoft has been let loose. It came out of the gauntlet. It's out of the cage. It's a beast. It's a monster. It's come out of the cage. And you have all these innovative minds now going everywhere. They're everywhere. You can't stop them. And so you're looking at people like Google, you're looking at people like Apple, you're looking at people like Sony, you're looking at people like Nintendo, and they can't match it. They can't match it with the cloud. They can't match it in the technology. They can't match it. Look at the phone that they just did. You remember they didn't get into the phone industry, right? Now look at the phone that they just did. Just smacked everybody out the gate. Go ahead, Heba.
Look, the point that you're pointing out, very well said. It's accurate. It's all public record. It's there for anybody who thinks that Dorian is
read it.
talking out his
Yeah,
ass.
go read
That
it.
he's talking out his ass. But what you're talking about is more technical. You're talking about Microsoft as a whole, the actual company as a whole. The reason why I'm mentioning the things I'm mentioning, game related, is because the first thing you keep hearing is Microsoft. What have they done this generation for gaming? Or they're not doing what
please.
Sony is doing. So that's why I'm
Hey,
pointing
hey,
out.
Right,
Heba,
right,
can
right,
can I add on that real quick?
You
So,
can
like,
interject, absolutely.
Yeah. So
What is it,
your
Heba?
point
I'm
right
used
there.
to
This
this.
all goes on the concept that Xbox doesn't have games, or Xbox doesn't have anything for the consumer, or Xbox didn't give us anything this generation, or blah
Well,
blah 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 blah.
Right,
But
Rico,
again,
go ahead.
tell you.
you buy this system
Right.
for your entertainment. If it
Yeah,
does
well,
not have
your
the
pleasures and
titles
what you like, right.
do not buy it.
Right.
Well,
From
there's
what I
more
heard-
to
I
consoles
heard a-
now.
I heard a rumor
Yeah,
that
that's not
Bill
true.
Gates is now an AI. Bill Gates is an AI. He's not even human anymore.
Well, check it out.
He's
I did that for
AI
Ram.
is what he is.
I did
Check
that
it out.
for Ram.
Listen.
Bill Gates is a
My-
Netflix AI.
The point
He has a
is
show
that
on Netflix.
gaming now, right? You guys are retarded. Let me get my thought across.
Go ahead, Eva. Go ahead, man.
Remember, I got diabetes. I
Yeah, you
forget.
so stupid. What that feel
This is the old man. This is the
I'm
old.
not joking,
Oh,
but isn't
man.
it?
What they call it? The
Oh,
movie
my
with John
gosh,
Travolta
You so
and
stupid.
the bikers, groundhogs. The one with the bikers. I forgot the name of it.
Hog.
Wild Hog. This is the
Wild
Wild
Hog.
Hog
Boy, you
podcast.
stupid boy.
Anyway, no. Listen.
Go ahead, Eva. Go ahead.
The thing is that people to kind of give Reapers like to kind of continue what Reapers was trying to state. The misconception this generation is that people think that it's about the old style of just having exclusives.
We
And
just
don't
talked
get
about
me
that.
wrong.
Yup.
Don't
Look
get
at
me
that.
wrong.
That's right. Look,
You
look,
do
what
need
I say.
exclusives
That's it.
to identify a console. You do.
That's right.
Yes.
It's identity.
But
Exactly.
consoles no longer only hold
Needed
their
to
weight
survive.
with exclusives.
Right.
Now it's about the entire experience, meaning
Exactly.
the ecosystem, the online experience, the features, the apps that it
It's
gives
the
you so
whole
that you can have. Right, it's the
Right.
whole thing. It's no longer, like most people play multiplayer games on Xbox because it's the better experience. It has the better online structure, and it's the
How dare you.
fastest next to a computer, right?
How
A
dare
PC,
you
right?
say
And
that.
in some ways, even better because although people will not mention it, but I will always bring it back up because I don't forget. All the dedicated servers on Microsoft are free and accessible to all developers.
Yes.
They don't use them by choice because if they use Microsoft's servers, they really can't justify charging you the $60 because you're not using their servers, like NBA, which needs to be put on the servers because it's dog shit, like Madden. 'cause
Watch
it's
your mouth,
dog
he
shit.
bot.
You get what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. You
I
know what
know.
I'm saying?
I
So
know. You're right.
they're there. If
He
they
using
want
my
to
word.
use it, like the fighting games,
Right.
all those Arc System Works games, like Dragon Ball, they're garbage. Even Tekken, garbage. If you want to have the best experience, all they got to do is put it on the Azure servers that are free on Xbox, on the
Facts.
console.
Right.
Everybody can
and,
use it.
and the experience will be ridiculous. Right.
Right. They don't use it because they don't want to be like, oh, we had to bend over because Microsoft wanted to stick it in our ass. No, it's not about that. Pride is what kills.
Look at Jump.
Pride.
Look at Jump Force.
Pride.
Look at Jump Force.
Pride
and you wonder why,
is what's
and you wonder
killing.
why Jump Force is getting hated on. Well, that's because
Well,
Jump
that's what
Force
I'm
don't have that
saying.
pride. It doesn't have that
Pride
It's
is what's
actually using a
killing
good-
developers.
Right. But
Pride.
Jump Force don't have
That
the pride.
stupid
Jump Force
pride.
is doing something that sets it apart, and everybody wants to hate it for it. Okay, well, hate on it.
That
Well, look-
Kakarot looks absolutely
Look at
beautiful.
the
too. I can't wait
Kakarot.
to play that.
Exactly.
Mhm,
Look at the pride. It's not there. They're willing to do something different and put that fighting system on a server that's worth it. And
Well-
and we'll see what happens.
Look at the announcement we got last year. That it was real big, but everybody pushed it under the rug because it wasn't on PlayStation. You guys
Right.
remember what it was in E3? Anybody
Because it-
here? You guys
Because
remember?
it wasn't on PlayStation. That's almost 90%
No.
of the games.
Which was the announcement that was really big, announced on E3 last year for Xbox, that it was pushed under the rug because it wasn't on PlayStation. What was it? You
I
guys
don't know.
remember?
What was it? I don't
Wait,
remember.
E3
Okay.
2018?
Yeah. That just passed. Do you
That
remember?
was pushed under the rug because it wasn't on PlayStation?
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
Was
You
it
don't
Game
remember?
Pass?
That's
talking about,
fine.
Final Fantasy. I mean, not Final
here.
Fantasy.
Fantasy Star
Star,
Online.
Yep, there it is. Yep.
Oh,
Using
I
the
was right.
Azura servers.
Oh,
That's right.
That's right.
I was about to. I said
Using
it.
the
Yeah.
Azura servers.
I had to
You're
think
That's why
about
they
it.
right.
chose.
Oh, they
That's
got
why
mad.
they chose.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
that's
when
why
they first
they
did that.
chose-
That's kind of what linked to the crossplay being actual fact.
Exactly. And
Yep.
and Reaper, remember, that is why they chose Xbox, because
That's
they know
right.
the Azura servers are
Yeah.
superior to anything else. And that
Well, they're the
game is
oldest. That would make
online
sense.
heavy.
That's right.
Okay?
Yeah, it's
that
the,
game
they're the
is
oldest
never gonna
servers. So that makes sense.
That game is never, even if it comes out on PlayStation,
Well,
it's
watch
never going to
this.
play the
He
way it's
about
going to
me-
play on Xbox with the Azure servers.
Right. And,
Ever.
and also,
Unless
and
they
I-
use the same servers.
And also, what Hebot is saying. Think about the impact of what he's saying right now. If y'all ain't catching this one, watch this. Where is that game coming from? That game is in an Oriental environment, right? Notice how if it stayed like that, it would never grow. Ain't that weird? Ain't that funny? The fact
Right.
That's
the
true.
fact that the fact that the Azure cloud is giving it potential to spread and become a worldwide phenomenon. That's what it's about. And it goes
And
right
the
back
game
to what
can
Hebot said. You look at the
Story.
developer aspect. Look at a drug. I always go back to the drug dealer situation. Do you think that's right? You gotta look at it like this, people. See, you gotta have that hustling mentality. If you're a consumer, you're consuming things. So you're not the person that's actually doing the work, making this stuff happen, so that you can be this little consumer, right? So you can sit at your little desk and play these little games. But if you're the guy that's actually putting in work, making this stuff happen, right? Then you understand that, hey, on my block only or in my neighborhood only, I can make a little bit of money. Yeah, I can make a little bit of money. But I would be making money nowhere near if I went and started going state to state, and then from state to state, from country to country. See what I'm saying? And then by the time I know it,
Right.
all my weight is worldwide. That's what Capo did.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He
That's
went
true.
worldwide. When they
That's
got
true.
him, they said, "Yo, he made Escobar. He made Al Capone. He made what? Who else was it? It was Escobar. It was who else? I'm thinking of the other guy. Help me out. Who was it?
What are you talking about? As far
The
as
drug
Cartels?
dealers. Drug dealers. Yeah, it was Escobar.
Cartels, yeah, cartels.
It's the other guy, not Escobar. The other guy,
Gotti?
not
Gotti?
Gotti. The other one down in South America. Come on, help me out.
Oh.
The French,
you're
the French
talking
had
about
him.
The one,
He
right,
had
right,
a
the one
son.
with the tunnels.
Yeah, he had a son. No, that's Capo. The one that they just got. But what I'm saying is, he made everybody look like a
yeah, I
drug
know who
dealer.
you're talking about. Yeah,
Right.
because he was just involved in a shootout. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know exactly
they
who
said
you're talking about.
right. They said when they went, man. They said, man, he was worldwide. They went and got his intel, man, and they went all around the world. All these countries knew who this guy was. By the time they got this guy, they said, man, he made everybody in history look like a drug dealer on the corner. See what I'm saying? On the corner. Now you got to understand why they said that. They're talking about weight, man. They're talking about weight. You don't want your product being a corner, right? You don't want to be a guy making money and it's compared to the guy making money on the corner. You want to be the guy where they're making money globally. Microsoft.
If you're doing the
is
same
after
thing, if you're doing the same thing the other person's doing, you're not gonna be remembered
There
as
you go.
something
Exactly.
special. You want to be remembered as something out
there
of
it
the
is.
ordinary.
I found it. Noriega.
Yeah, something unique to
Noriega.
you.
Noriega.
Noriega.
Noriega,
Right.
okay.
Noriega,
Right.
yeah.
It's Escobar, but then it was
Well,
Noriega. That's right. That's who it was.
Well,
That's what I was
it's
talking
funny that you say that
about.
because
Capo beat all
know,
of them put together. He beat all of them guys put together. That's a lot of money. When you think
it's funny
about
that you
that,
say that because you remember you said, oh, they let her unleash the beast, and that's basically what happened with Microsoft, even in the gaming division.
Oh my
Once they
God.
saw that he could prove to Satya, that Phil was able to prove that it was a profitable division,
Right.
he says, all bets are off. Whatever you need, just let me know. That's how come he gave him the money to buy studios, to do the X. And they only did the X just to prove to people that they could have been made the most
That they
powerful
could
console.
do it. Right.
Period.
That they could do it, yeah.
They did it basically just to prove a point, to stop the
Right.
stupid, rhetoric of,
Yep.
oh, but all the games are 720p. But yet, the
Right.
Xbox One, even on the vanilla, is the
Right.
only console still that has games 1080p in 60
Right.
frames.
Now,
There's
You
none
know,
on
it.
PlayStation.
now watch
You
this.
None.
know. You know
Other
Now
what's
than
watch
base.
what.
funny?
Now watch what's funny.
Now,
And I'm gonna let you elaborate, Sherman. What's sad? You know, Hebot's coming up with. Hebot, you coming up with. You on fire today, man. I gotta give you props. You coming up with some good stuff. But you know what's funny, man? Honestly, what Hebot was just saying. And what's sad is that I don't think. And you know, everything is coming to light. I used to tell everybody, just hold tight. It's all gonna come to light, man. You cannot put casuals in a hardcore space. Even me and Reaper used to talk about this all the time. We used to laugh about it,
You
and we're
still can't
still,
do this.
and we're still.
Well
Hold
now
on,
you got
Reaper.
like
Hold on,
sacrificial
Reaper. Hold
sacrificial
on, Reaper.
paradise area, but
We're
that's fine.
sitting up. Me and Reaper are sitting up here with our glass of wine, man. We're sitting here, TikTok. We got our Flavor Flav clocks on TikTok, and then what's happening? What's happening, people? Now you got crossplay. Now you really want to know why Sony didn't want to do crossplay? Because Sony didn't want to reveal you clowns. They didn't want to reveal you clowns. But look,
No.
sooner or later you had to come to the dark side. Sooner or later, because what happened is you're being made fun of. Everybody's making fun of you, so you had to break. Now that you broke,
it's never. Yeah, but it's
the
not
numbers
really
are
that,
there. But
legal.
now that they
yeah,
broke,
but it's
the
not really
numbers
that,
are
that
there.
they're being broke.
And they suck. They suck, man. I mean, honestly, they suck. There's not. Look, bro, you can't make nothing good out of that. They suck. Okay, that's
well,
just facts.
it's not a console that
And
was
it's
known
not
for multiplayer activity.
No,
right.
it's not. Yeah,
Stop.
they are
Stop
natural.
acting like.
They are natural. They are natural casual culture is what they are. They're natural
Right.
casual culture is what
My
they are.
thing is this.
And
they like
they
to
don't
about-
understand. But they
Right.
don't
Well, they-
understand that. Like, you'll
Right,
have
you
people
can't-
that love multiplayer, that love
Right.
that that wonderful realism. Nitty gritty blood. Basically pound, take energy drink. Nonstop. That's what PvP culture is for. Then you have
Right.
Sony's culture, who didn't want that nitty gritty, bam, 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 bam.
Right.
They wanted to
I
relax.
wanna
they
hold
wanted
my
to,
hand and
they wanted to
walk
enjoy
me
the
down the
games, as they
street.
like to
Right.
say. Well, you can't take that, and you can't take what we do and put them in the same place, like you said,
Right.
legal. Because if you do that, you have anarchy, as you can see on the Call of Duty, field
Right.
right here and now. But the kicker is it's only gonna get better from what you're looking at right now on that field. So as the years go by from now, things are gonna add to that crossplay library, and it's become very apparent which culture in
Right,
games
is who's
play the
who,
hardest
right.
and which
That's
play to
right.
relax.
That's true.
Which one is
That's
the
true.
difference?
What's gonna
Because
do
the
it.
ones who play to kill you are the ones that are going to play to basically just wipe you. So unless you're
Right.
playing a co-op experience, please don't go into a lobby. Once that is activated, you'll just get
Right.
absolutely.
Well,
There's nothing,
well,
and
the
let me
beauty
say
of-
this real quick. There's nothing wrong with the game, okay, people? Nothing wrong with it. It's you. Let's say it together. There's nothing wrong with the game. It's you. You suck. Anybody, and me and Hebot, and listen, Hebot,
Yeah.
Sherminator, okay, because we're older than
Oh,
T Reaper.
man.
But nobody can hype. And I remember if they used to laugh at Hebot. But I said it long time ago. How can you hype the oldest experience in gaming? You cannot hype it. Single player experience is the oldest experience known to mankind. And you want to know what the first single experience felt like? Is anybody going to play with me? That's what it felt like. Because on Pong,
Yeah.
you couldn't do it by yourself. It didn't
No.
feel right. It didn't feel right. So you was begging for somebody to play with you. That was the single
So we
player
had the
experience.
arcades, and then we had
Right.
the couch, and then we had Xbox
Right.
Live, and we had PSN, and now
Well,
we have
exactly.
crossplay
Well,
around the world.
Because if multiplayer
everything comes around
it goes
in a circle.
right, because if multiplayer people didn't, it's not as big as it sounds like T Reaper explaining it, then we wouldn't have no PSN. It wouldn't be no reason for Xbox Live. Come on, people, stop it.
Nintendo
we knew
Switch
it-
wouldn't even have one.
Right, we knew
Well,
you
you
guys
gotta-
were casuals.
Right. That's true.
We knew you guys were casuals. And soon you will not be able to hide behind it. This is why you guys talk a lot and you never show your gaming. We've always asked you guys, well, where's your gaming?
There's different definitions to that casual definition that we all use. So everybody's
And
like,
that- and
what
that's
do you mean
true,
by
but-
casual? What do you mean
But
by
here's
this?
my thing.
But there's different
here's my
definitions
thing.
for all of us
Here's
who
my
have that
thing,
word.
Reaper. We never cared really about any of that. We were underestimated because real gamers, all we care about is are you
It's just having fun.
man? Right.
Yeah, well, are you
you
having
gaming?
fun?
this
Oh, you're
dude
having fun. That
comes
should
up
be the
on Twitter.
simplest question.
Right, this dude comes up on Twitter, and he's no longer on Twitter. That's the funny part. He got banned, but he comes up on Twitter, down in console players, right, and was saying, "Hey, y'all playing that game in 4K? I'm playing this game in 8K." Well, if you're playing it in 8K, why are you not showing us? That's a beautiful thing. Show us you're playing in 8K. Make me want to get what you got. That's gaming. So the fact that you told everybody you're playing Gears 5 in 8K and you absolutely showed us nothing, get banned off Twitter. You deserve to get banned off Twitter. I don't know what else you did, but just off of that, get banned off Twitter.
He was playing in
Get outta
8K with everything put down to the lowest denominator in all the other aspects, like
Well,
the
we know
graphics,
that.
the texture,
Right.
the detail.
He was
All he
playing
did
8K
was
at low
straight up.
settings.
All he did
Walked.
was straight up
He walked.
resolution. That's
Right.
it.
The minute he
Resolution
ran-
with low ass textures.
With
They
low
probably
ass
look like
that's right.
Dreamcast. They
Right.
look like Dreamcast textures, I bet.
Right.
Anyway,
right.
real
right.
quick,
Go ahead, Hibak. Go ahead.
what I was
Hibak.
trying to say to finish me myself off because I keep
Go
always
ahead.
talking.
Go ahead, fam. Go ahead.
That
No, you're fine.
it-
I just
it-
want to say this.
it
I
was
just want to know. Just playing. Go ahead.
It's a good point that you said that because that's what I said from the beginning. I said they're gonna keep pushing hard, trolling on Microsoft and hating and saying this that.
Right.
And what you're gonna do is you're gonna open
A can of worms.
Pandora's
That's right.
box.
That's
You know,
right.
Pandora's box, right?
That's right. That's
You're
right.
gonna open it up because you're playing with a company that's not Sega. They have money.
Right. Right. Not
can't-
going anywhere. You can't bully them.
Like my brother Sega Forever used to always say,
Right.
you cannot bully Microsoft the way they bully Sega.
That's right.
Sony can do that because they
No.
don't have the capital to mess with
They're
them.
gonna let
And
you
you only
down,
have
people.
two companies on this planet that have the
You
capital
understand?
to do that too, though.
That's right. That's
And
right.
and only one has the full experience
Google
in
and
gaming. The other
Amazon
one has no clue.
Can only. That's
and
right.
one doesn't have a clue.
That's right.
So again,
That's
that is the product of what you're seeing right now. So what you were asking the question where it started me talking on this rant about what position do I see Microsoft? They're in a very good position because let's also remember that they also saved the franchise Tomb Raider because
That's right.
they weren't going to be
In
able to do it.
2011.
Where
Keep talking.
Enix said no problem.
That was a beautiful.
And they saved it,
trilogy. too.
right?
That was a beautiful
they,
save.
It was a
they
beautiful
saved
was.
the game.
They
They were
did
able
in
to make the sequel,
2011. He's
and
not
then
lying.
they did the third one,
Oh my
and that's why we had
God.
the exclusivity. But yet everybody shitted on them. Oh, how dare they? When it was because of them, the game exists and went to PlayStation because
That's true.
of them. Meanwhile, we got the creator of Street Fighter, a game that's been on all consoles since the beginning.
Right. And
He only put it on Sony
was-
for
and that was the
for
funniest
pennies
thing
and
ever
change.
happened. Right.
Penny
That
and
was the
change,
funny-
and the
that's
game
right.
had no content until like 2 years ago that finally got some content.
It's
because he
sad
couldn't
what
even
happened
afford
to
it.
my Street Fighter.
You understand what I'm
That
saying?
was so sad
And
what
nobody
happened to it.
nobody
And the
talked
online
about
was
that.
terrible.
Right.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was so
Then
sad
nobody
to
and
watch
nobody
that happen.
nobody talks about that
Sad.
as being
Right.
as
Pivotal,
being anti-consumer,
Right. Pivotal. You're
as
right,
being
right, right.
wrong, as
Right.
being why would they do that? Why would they
Right.
not put a director's cut on the Xbox later on?
Or something,
Nobody,
right.
nobody cared. Nobody
No,
cared.
because it
Okay?
goes back to that.
The-
It goes back to that culture me and you talked about that we were proving right
Mhm.
about. That's all it goes back to, right there.
You know, so in the position they're in now, they got this. They got the momentum. Gears of War 5 was very positively, critically acclaimed. Even Blair Witch got good critics. They supported it, and the developer said they decided to put it on Xbox because they don't have a lot of story games like that horror based. So they wanted an
Right.
audience that really doesn't have it. So they put it on Xbox. It's on Game Pass. The game got pretty decent reviews. Same thing with now Outer Wilds. Yes, it's a multi-plat, but the difference is we're not paying for it.
Right.
No,
So
No,
to
we're not.
speak, right? But we can have it on Game Pass. Unlike everybody else, they have to pay for it, and it's still in the number 3 spots in the game selling this week, even though
And-
it's on Game
and-
Pass. So that's
and
just
Gears
something.
is number 5 and number 6 right now.
Well, yeah, and Gears was
Going
number
for
3
Gotti.
on the
It's going for
NPD.
Gotti.
On the
Yeah, it's going for
NPD.
Gotti. That's right.
And what was in front of it was fucking FIFA, which sells them like boatloads, and
That's
that
right.
other and the other game,
Seasonal.
what was it, Madden?
Right. It's they're
Which we all,
seasonal.
which
so
we
that's
all, which we all
right.
know those games every time they come out they sell like hotcakes.
Right,
like,
right. Because
right.
it's seasonal. It's
astronomical
football
numbers,
time.
you know?
It's soccer.
So
football
even
time.
though it was on Game Pass, okay, for a lot of people that got it for $1, it still
Right.
sold well, which is
That's
a
right.
good sign. It's a sign of when people see quality, they're going to buy it, they're going to appreciate it, they're going to want it, okay? And then XO next month. The ramblings are they're going to announce about 2 or 3 more new acquisitions and some
Mm-hmm.
surprises, meaning what they're working on, the other studios. And a lot of these developers, like they just said not too long ago, a bunch of the developers from Dead Space, right? They're now at Microsoft. I forgot what was their name, but they're most of them of those guys that created that IP are at Microsoft. They have top quality tier developers and creators and designers that are now working for, Initiative, Ninja Theory, Playground Games, which means there's experience, right?
Right, right.
Okay, and then let's not forget the Azura deals they're doing. So they got money coming from the government, from Sony, Nintendo probably sometime soon, and whoever else decides to use it, right? Plus, they have the new console coming out, right? And on
Right.
top of that, they got the capital, the money, right? And then we got other games that are down the pipe coming out, like Ori 2,
I
which
don't
already
want to
was
be
critically
seen.
acclaimed. Which more than likely, the second one's going to be well received as well, because it looks even bigger and better. So
Yeah.
I think the positioning they're in is very strong, and I think that right now at this point, the sky's the limit for them. They have everything in their court. Everything is in the favor of their on their court. The ball's in the court in their favor. It's up to them to just keep on pushing and thriving the way they've been doing, trying to keep on their word. With what they did with Gears, they took some chances, changed it up, made it fresh, try to make it feel different. Same thing with acquiring these studios that doing games that are different, like the Outer Wild. Even though I don't like those type of games, but you can see their quality and people are appreciating it. They like it, and that's all that matters.
Yeah,
if
because it's
the
a
game
breath of
succeeds at
fresh
Microsoft-
air. It's a breath of
Yeah,
fresh
yeah,
air.
yeah.
We
But if
can't
it
all have the
succeeds at
same-
Microsoft,
Right.
that means we all win, because that means there's more money to make more games for everybody.
That's facts.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's facts.
That's true.
So whether I like it or not, it's irrelevant. It's as long as it makes money or is doing positive for them, because that means they're gonna make more money to make games for everybody. For me, for Reaper, for Dorian, for Sherman, for all our guys. You know what I'm saying? And that's
So they
what
get to make
matters.
Minecraft
Like
for me, man.
Battletoads.
Yep.
I'm waiting
More
for
Minecraft
Battletoads.
for me. I'm waiting
You know
for
what I
Minecraft.
mean? More Minecraft for you.
Yeah, more Minecraft all day.
In
all day.
4K.
Right. You better
4K.
believe it. Nothing like
Minecraft Dungeons. That's what's gonna be hype.
Right. Yeah, man. All day.
Like Gauntlet style. That's gonna be
Right,
hype.
bro. Right.
So
Yeah,
you
but
know,
you're right,
so
man.
I think they're in a strong position. They're in the best position they've ever
I
been.
agree
I
with
think
you.
in
Yeah.
obviously in this generation for
Yep.
sure. And
Yep.
I think even as going as far back as the OG and 360, I think they're in the best position they've been ever before. And the mindset is starting to show there, because people are starting to see, even with the stuff they're doing, like with Taco Bell, giving out free shit.
That's right.
Where everybody keeps winning it, putting it up. That's all positive, because people are now going to try out these Xbox, the Xbox One X and their games. I got people in my comments coming in saying, like, looking at videos of mine saying, damn, I never looked at it in this perspective of what you said about things that are misconstrued or misconception between Xbox and PlayStation and even the Switch. And because you did this video, you have opened my eyes. I want to go and try out Xbox and see what it's up, because every point you said was valid. It's true.
It's
and I
true,
didn't think
man.
of it that way. You know what I
Right.
mean?
When
And that's
when
cool.
it's validated,
That's good.
right.
That's true, Hebot. But and that's also because each different brand has a different ideology of culture behind why each gamers are drawn to each platform. So like some might basically think, oh, PlayStation is the end all be all, and then then their friends say Xbox is this, but then they hear you describe it in a certain formula that they understand. They're like, oh, actually, that actually sounds like a good idea. Let me go try that.
Right, because you
Well, I
have
mean-
to have different takes on a situation, and if you can explain things to where people can start to think for themselves, then you start to make an impact. Because the problem is people just don't think for themselves, man. And a lot of times they think that these companies, man, if you don't think that you've been looked at like you really don't know what the hell you're talking about, or you really don't know what you got to be kidding yourself right now. You've been fed a bunch of nonsense. 1080p doesn't make you a better gamer. Having the most popular console doesn't make you a better gamer. So you've been lied to. You should be feeling some type of way, man. Because we're not here to laugh at y'all. We're really not, man. But it's just like, when we say we told you so, In the words of T Reaper, I told you so. You didn't listen. Those are T
Uh,
Reaper's
and
words.
you know,
You
and for
didn't
the and for
listen,
like
and I
the
told
next
you so.
for the next couple years, I'll keep saying I
But
told you so because I'm gonna keep
right,
saying it
you
over and
you
over.
have to realize that none of the stuff that you was hyped about. Look, greatness awaits. Greatness awaits. Okay, there's things that happen on both sides of these companies, man. Microsoft had a horrible time in the beginning, but the thing about Microsoft is it doesn't sit here and give us things that don't exist. Like they don't say stuff that's not really like you're not gonna hear that dumb stuff come out of Microsoft. That kind of talk is not gonna come out of Microsoft because they don't have to rely on um your sales or look. Microsoft is
Yeah,
self-integrated, like I
it's
said.
a yeah
They're not.
yeah.
It's not. It's a different company.
Microsoft is a
Right.
it's a
It's a multi.
multi-platform cultural
Right.
company.
It's
It basically it doesn't require its gaming revenue to make profit.
to make
That's why
profit.
when Phil at
Exactly.
E3 say, you know, why what do you think about your your consoles not selling well? He's like, that's not our business. That's not our business
Right. That's
concept.
not. That
Our
don't hurt
business
me.
concept is to make money, not to sell
Right.
not to sell
But
product.
what Dorian's trying to
Right.
say is that Microsoft doesn't have to do deceptive
Yeah.
headlines or
Deceptive stuff.
one-liners
Right. They don't have to
in
do
order
that.
No,
to get
they don't.
in order to get an
But
audience. Like if they say
Right.
we're gonna do 4K, that means they're gonna do 4K.
Right.
You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Unlike
Right.
Sony,
Yeah.
they said we're gonna do
Right.
4K, and their console doesn't even have a 4K player.
Why do you think? Why do you think?
You know what
That's
I mean?
right. Why do you think Aaron Greenberg in the beginning put all those checks on all of that 4K, HDR, real HDR? Y'all remember that right after the conference? He
Yeah.
put that out right
Yeah.
after the conference. He was letting everybody know, man, we're not gimmicking you. What we're saying, we're not gimmicking. And so it has to feel good that you're working for a company that you don't have to bamboozle your audience or bamboozle your customer.
Right.
It has to feel good.
Right.
That has to feel good. Anytime that you have to do that, it's like now look, man, I hate saying it, but it's true. It's like Sony is trying to sell you a car, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, you don't have to lie to me for me to, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't do it like that.
Right. Yeah.
We have money,
Yeah.
right? You cannot invest in Microsoft without not having no money. So that's why we're getting the Scarlet. That's why our console costs a little bit more. That's because we get prepared for it, people. We get prepared for our investment. You don't have to
but,
invest
like,
anything over there.
Don't you think it's awesome, like how Microsoft bounced back? I mean, you
That's right.
think back to the beginning of this generation, how like they were in such a such a hole, but as as Sherminator said, come back at the end
That's
of
right,
the quarter.
man. That's right, man.
All together, 20+ billion, plus dollars. Doesn't look like they're in that hole anymore, and it looks like Phil did exactly what he said he was going to do.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
Phil
that's
look
very
now.
true.
You know Phil Spencer
Yeah.
got integrity. Phil
People,
Spencer has
Microsoft
integrity. He's not gonna go out there and make himself look like a fool, man. He's not gonna lie to his customers. He ain't gonna do it like that, man. He's got some integrity.
Microsoft has always been known as the
God
company to
dang.
come back harder when they fail. They've done this
Yep.
numerous times with Windows,
Mm-hmm.
with their laptops. Look at the phone. Everybody's like, oh, they'll never make a phone again. Look at the phone they just dropped.
Man.
That phone's sitting on
Yeah.
everybody that just make a phone right now. Everybody. Okay? They've always done this. This is their MO. They've always done this. They fail.
Constantly thinking, man.
Come back.
You gotta constantly think with this game.
That's the same company they're in. That's why they find success, because they don't sit back and give up.
Oh my
They
God, what
go
is
No,
he
they,
doing?
they legitimately treat they treat their business model like a chessboard is what they do.
Right.
Go back to the drawing board and figure it out and try it. They've done this constantly. They've never not been known for not doing it. You understand? And if you've seen it in the past, you look back historically, you'll be like, damn, this was the way they started off. So how you gonna deny and think like
They're supposed to put the names up and they didn't.
like really thinking that the next Xbox is gonna be less powerful or underpowered again in the PlayStation 5. When one, they don't have the capital. Two,
Come up to your
Phil
phone.
said
He
very-
about get up to
said
your
very-
phone.
said very-
Get
Phil
to your
said very
phone.
clearly, we will never get
There you
caught
go.
ever again
That's right. He said that.
underpowered.
Right. Because
Our
man, he
console will
felt.
never be underpowered ever again.
Because why did he say that,
That
man?
was an
He felt
insult to them.
right. It was there.
You know
You
what I mean?
go. He felt like it was an
An
insult
insult.
because here he is representing Microsoft. It's Microsoft. There's no way we shouldn't be the leading technology platform of the century. You know, that's how they look at themselves, man. They're not looking at themselves like
The
that. You
console
know,
always,
how we sitting up here with the
their
inferior
console
console? We're
always
Microsoft.
showed that they were superior. Even if I'm paying for the PlayStation looks more powerful, in real-time performance, their console was always superior. And they know this. Okay? So it's not gonna happen. You know? So you keep thinking that you're retarded. But you're talking about the company with money opposed to the company with no money. Why do you think
Nah,
they're
he
so
about
hush
to.
hush to the detail?
Right, right. It is,
As
man. I
opposed,
mean,
they're being hush hush. They haven't given you the full details because they're letting Sony spill the beans first. They're not going to spill the beans this time around. They're going to
no.
let it. They're going to write it out.
Well,
Once
Right.
Sony does that unveiling and spill the beans, I guarantee you they'll come back a couple of months later. Oh yeah, by the way, this is our console. Look what we do.
Didn't want to get
Well,
you
well,
clowns. Anybody else?
What?
Get out of here. All you clowns.
well, you know what? You
Go
know,
ahead.
Heba, it's a couple of things that you just said that immediately rang a bell with me. First of all, the statement that you literally just made a couple of seconds ago. I read somewhere a couple of days ago where for E3 2020, you know, historically, before Sony decided last year, we're done with E3, blah, blah, blah. You know, Microsoft would always do their show first, and then Sony would do theirs afterwards. Which, of course,
Right.
with that type of lineup, if Microsoft came up with something that, you know, Sony is like, oh, did you see what Microsoft? Then that gave them that opportunity to kind of like make some adjustments and you know, like, well, we can't let them, you know, at least from a public perspective, we can't let it seem like Microsoft is one up. Well,
That's right.
right. But see now for 2020, because supposedly Sony still does not want to have anything to do with E3, but Sony announced that they're going to do their so-called show. It's going to be just a standalone thing, and it's
Man,
going to
Sherman's
take
making some
place
good
before
points.
E3. This is going to take place before E3. So E3 comes afterwards, which of course Microsoft had such a successful E3 for 2019. They're planning on doing the exact same thing, you know, have extra stuff. You know, they're going to do what they do. But because of that, because of the scheduling, with Sony announcing, oh, well, you know what, we're going to have ours like a few weeks before E3. Well, that gives Microsoft a chance to like totally, if they have to, it gives them the golden opportunity to make the same adjustments, to play from the same rule book that Sony has been doing for years. So let's just
That's
say,
right.
let's just say, for instance, that at Sony's presser, that's going to be, you know, a few weeks before E3. So let's just say Sony reveals the PS5, and then reveals, you know, I mean, they've got it, confirmation. Here's the spec, and you know, blah blah blah. But then, of course, what's the one thing that everybody focuses on when it comes to a new system? Yeah, it's the spec,
Power.
but they
Power.
Right.
yeah,
games.
it's the power, but no, what's the one thing they focus on even more than that?
The games.
I mean, come on, you guys know. Nope, not
Yes.
even the game. What do they focus
What?
on more than the power?
What? The
Price?
picture quality?
Is it price?
What, price?
The price.
Is it price?
The
The
price?
price.
It's price.
That's
It's price.
right,
Yeah.
the price. So let's just say, for instance, that they decide, they announce, well, we're going to release the PS5 at $500.
Right.
Okay.
What
Well,
if I predicted the curse of PlayStation 3? I did predict that, so let's see what happens.
Right. So see,
That bad
let's
boy
just
got him
see,
scared to
right?
price anything. They got him scared to up their
Right,
ante up.
right.
That's right. Got them
Right,
scared.
but you already know that there's no way in the world that they can do Oppressor with all the hype
That's what I'm
that
saying. You
they've been
cannot be
doing so
right.
far.
Come on, y'all.
They cannot do Oppressor with a
Right.
reveal of the PS5 without
Right.
including the price. They can't do
And
it because
right.
if they do, think about
I'm
this.
trying, T Reaper. I'm
If
trying. It's brutal. Go
if
ahead, sir.
if they do, and if they say, well, if they end it off with, well, the price is to be determined. Well, see, that right there, that's a bad look. That's
That's
a
right.
real bad look.
And
Because
don't
what
expect.
that says, what that will say to the gaming community, let alone the gaming press. What that will say is, well, we really don't want to announce it because we know if we do,
That's
then
right.
you guys are going to just totally like, oh, no, we want nothing to do with that. So there's that. But then also, if they don't announce it, then everybody will put two and two together like, oh, okay, we see what you're doing. You're trying to wait and see what Microsoft's going to say first.
That's right.
No,
Yeah.
you can't have it both
Yeah,
ways.
but if
That's it.
Microsoft doesn't reveal anything first and makes Sony goes first, then Sony might get one.
But-
No,
shot
they're not.
screwed.
No, they're not,
But
T
Reaper,
Reaper.
but
Because
that's
here's
my
the thing,
point.
T Reaper. They're not. That's the funny part this time. There's nothing.
Right.
And I told y'all this, and my words. There is nothing Sony can do about the Leviathan that's coming. There is nothing they can do. I've never seen Sony go flat quiet. They're not flat quiet.
Yeah,
because
they can't
got
wait
something.
for Microsoft this time. It's not gonna
Right.
work.
They-
It's
nope.
not gonna work.
Nope. And I've never seen Sony go this quiet. And it's not because, they got something that's going to be better. You can forget that. I'm telling you right now, you can forget that. Those old days of 1080p, 900p, and all that little casual talk, all that funny little games, little cute little merry-go-round little talk y'all did.
All
little
that
playground
simplicity is
talk.
about to go out the
Right,
window.
it's gone, bro. Them days
It's
are
also,
gone.
too, another thing is that it's money. It's money. They haven't.
Right. They're
They're
still
saying-
laying off people, man. This is not something. Right. It's all about the resources. I'm telling people this, man.
They trying to get money from when they run out of things to sell. The last thing is basically also they're trying to sell that as well to I believe I think it's I forgot who it was. I think it's Amazon or somebody. The rumors is that they want to sell their movie DVD to them. They won't have anything else to sell. Everything they have is just places. But that's when they really know what this they can't to make their game sell well or not. I think that's a coincidence. No, they're buying time because they're gonna be like, wow, so they said May 29. Then they're gonna be like, oh no, it's gonna be released. After they do a reel, it's gonna come out as a release with the PS5.
Is he talking up to his phone, man?
I can hear him.
No,
It's
he's
just-
not
it's
talking.
very
Tell him
faint.
he's talking. I don't know what happened to him. Tell him to talk
I'm
up
right
to
on
his
the
phone.
mic.
Yeah,
I'm
talk
right
to
on
your
the
phone.
mic.
There you go. Sounds a lot better.
So
You can't get lazy tonight, Hebot. You got to talk, baby.
they're trying to kill time because
Right.
once they do that reveal, they're gonna say, yeah, it's gonna be a launch title with PS5. They don't have it. So they're off before PS5. So when are they gonna have to launch? You understand what I'm saying? What? They're gonna launch it again like they did with PS4 with one game? Like they did with
Right.
Shadowfall?
No, I agree. Like,
Chris,
there's
make sure you talk in your mic, man. Make sure you get in there. No, it's not like it was. You're low now. Whatever you did.
No, I am.
Yeah, you sound like
You
you're
sound muzzled.
like
Yeah,
a half a mile away.
Right, you're muzzled
Sounds
now for some
really-
reason.
Yeah.
You was real
Very,
clear.
very low.
I mute it and then
There you go.
Okay, see now
No,
there you go.
Yeah, you're better now. Whatever you did, you're better
That's
now.
what I've done. I've been on the mic. It's just a mute and unmute. That's what I've been doing.
But no, go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
wait,
Yeah, go ahead.
No, No, so Sony is running out of options to basically go backwards, go forwards, go backwards, go forward. Eventually, you're not going to be able to go backwards no more. You're going to legitimately have to stay still and just watch
That's
the wave
right.
just wash right over you. Like
That's right.
I don't even think even if you sold Sony Pictures, it would even save you personally. Even if Amazon even basically
Right,
bought it
this
from
thing
you.
is
Sony-
trying to stop the bleeding, man. It's been that way since 2002. I've already spoke on
Well-
it. It's bleeding. It's bleeding,
Well,
man.
Well, you know, it's confirmed, and this was actually confirmed a while ago. Within the Sony empire, if you will, the only division of Sony as a corporation, period, that's been making money for the past, well, I don't know, 4 years, maybe a little longer, but the only division that has kept Sony as a company in the black is the PlayStation division, is their gaming
Right.
division.
Right.
Sony Pictures has been losing money.
We put the percentages out.
Sony General Electronics.
The
has been
Venom
losing
thing
money.
helped them. The Venom thing.
Right.
Successful.
People think
Yeah, the Venom
losing
did a really good job.
Sherman.
Yeah, Venom
Sherman,
did a really
but
good
but
job.
that's not. But what did I say? I spoke on this a long time ago, people. Come on, y'all. Look. You can't. Look, we're
you
talking-
can't run in place. You can't
Well, here-
sell
what?
and then
Did
break
y'all
even
just-
every single time.
Did
It
y'all
doesn't work.
right?
It doesn't work.
That's it right there. You said broke even. Cause why did you say that, Reaper? Because the news just came out on it. The news just said everything that happened to Sony last year, all the success that you saw, they broke even. All of that. So
Oh,
I don't
okay.
even want to hear
Well,
about it. I
there's a
don't
know
want
what?
difference
to. Yeah,
between-
Venom did good.
profit
Venom,
and revenue.
right,
There's a
right.
difference.
Venom did great, but Venom did nothing for Sony. See what I'm saying?
No.
And at the end of the day,
No.
it did nothing. This is the stuff I be trying to tell people. Yo, that for that movie to do something for Sony, it would have had to sell like $2 billion, $2, $3, $4 billion.
You need to outsell
Then-
Endgame is what you need to do.
right.
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 Right,
If a
right,
Sony
right.
movie outsells
Yeah,
Endgame,
Avatar.
Sony. There you go.
Or Titanic.
Get over Titanic.
Right.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
I mean, and that
exactly.
has to happen every single time. And then we can start saying, you know what, man, Sony's actually they're getting some money back now, you know. But that's not happening with a movie like Venom, where the movie is not even MCU. It's not even, you know, you can't. This is why the Spider-Man thing, and I know I'm getting off track, but I don't even want to elaborate on that no more. We killed that one too. But this is why Sony had to go back to Marvel and Disney Studios, because they realized Sony's not stupid, man. They talk a lot of stuff, but they're not stupid. They know darn well Spider-Man ain't going to survive if it's not in the MCU universe. If it's not tied into where these comic book guys, when they read comic books, the movie makes sense. If the movie, the movie doesn't make sense. If the movie doesn't make sense somewhere, and it ain't
Once
aligning
it was
itself up with the
presented
comics,
to the MCU, that's it. It was a done deal because
that's
they're
it.
not gonna retract and go back and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna watch
Yeah.
a single Spider-Man game movie that Sony brought out. They're not gonna do
Exactly.
that.
They're not doing
Now
that
they-
because he's a
they
Marvel
know-
fan. Right.
Yeah, no, he's in the
exactly.
Marvel universe. And now we
It's
want
in the
him
Marvel
there.
universe.
What's wrong with y'all?
That's right. That's
You know what I
right.
mean?
That's
It's
exactly
the-
right. And when the movie cannot follow the comic book, and what, I'll tell you what comic book movie that never followed the comic book in any kind of way survived? Tell me. The Dark Knight followed it. They had the Joker in it. The Dark Knight followed it. It had Bane in it. Come on. It ain't like, you know, they just do this stuff and there's nothing there. There's no tie to the comics. There's ties to the comics. When Dolph Lundgren did the Punisher, the first Punisher, the reason why it failed is not because it was Dolph Lundgren. It's because the damn movie made no sense. The Punisher ain't in
It did-
Japan,
yeah, it didn't
bro.
follow the comics.
Right, they didn't follow the
No, it
comics.
didn't follow it.
That's the
Right.
reason. There
Right.
was no relation. You couldn't relate to it. Then when they finally did the next Punisher, you related to it because, yeah, man, his family got killed. You know, it made sense. You know, he was a great soldier. It did all of that. It did all that talking. It showed him how he.
Yeah.
Respect
Bernthal is the perfect Punisher.
Right. What was it?
Perfect Punisher.
Lockjaw. The Russian that he had to fight. I forgot his name.
Oh,
But he was in the movie. He was in the. I mean, he was in the
Yeah.
movie. Yeah. He come in as.
Played by Vin Diesel. was
Yeah,
played
that big
by
old
Brandon
dude. Yeah,
Diesel.
that big old dude. Yeah.
Diesel from wrestling. He played him.
Yeah, that big old
The
boy.
wrestler.
Because you remember they even put him in the game. He was in the game. He was in
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Punisher
The
game.
guy
That's right.
Diesel played them. The wrestler. I forget his
Right,
real name.
right.
Like Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Kevin Nash.
Know what I'm talking about?
He
Yeah.
played him.
So when you're doing
You mean
stuff
the
like
one
that,
with
it's gonna
Thomas Jane?
succeed. Right. That's right. And he played a damn good Punisher, man. Damn
Yeah, he
good
did.
Punisher. One of my favorite
Yeah.
Punishers, man. Straight up, one of my favorite Punishers.
So good they wanted him to do another one, and he doesn't want
That's
to
right.
do another one.
Yeah,
That's how
he
good
didn't
is at it.
That's right. Cause he had the body, the makeup, and he had the look, man. I'm telling you, he had a Frank Castle look, man. He did, man.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure John just doesn't want to spend all his time in depression. Personally, I think that's his
Right.
reason why, because it
Right,
takes away
'cause-
from family time.
yeah, and the Punisher is a dark character, man. You got to be depressed all the time, bro. You got to be ready to revenge. Revenge is in your heart all the time, all the time, all the time.
But
You know,
those two seasons were beautiful. I enjoyed
it
them.
was.
He did a
Yeah,
phenomenal job. Even
Right.
after he left Daredevil, it was absolutely beautiful. I was
right,
like, damn.
right. So yeah, guys. I mean, you know, I'm at the point where I agree with the. I guess we all agree that what Microsoft is doing is working. I don't see any reason to switch up. You're working. Your revenues are up. Game Pass
Yeah.
is selling. Your games, your
Yeah.
market is up. Why change? Who cares? Look, bro. I don't need to see. I don't need to be walked down every year about a game that's coming out. I know a game is coming out. Right? You know. Okay. Put it like this. A gamer is playing games. Okay? So as long as you got me playing games, the new games, they come as they will. They're coming. In the meantime,
right.
I'm no, Reaper. But that's
That's
it. But
true.
in the meantime, I'm gonna look. We got. What did we talk about before Chris got in here? We talked about our back catalog, right? In the meantime,
Backlog.
right? I
Right.
play these backlogs. Why am I worrying about the new games when I ain't even beat the ones I
You know
have?
damn well everybody
Come
has a
on.
backlog.
Everybody has a backlog.
Right.
Be patient
right.
and play. Right. Be patient and play the games that you have and enjoy them. And come out here in these streets and talk about your experience. Please. Can we bring gaming back for once, people? Please. Please.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah, go right ahead.
In
Interject.
related to what we've been discussing, one thing that us as Xbox gamers can really take solace in is I need to tell Cortana to stop. One thing that we can take solace in is the simple fact that, you know, a lot of what we see, which if we let it get to us, if we take too much attention to it, yeah, it can be a little bit frustrating and borderline depressing. When you know, we all know how the majority, not all, but the majority of the gaming press is usually, they get a kick out of dissing Xbox and
They do.
you know,
They
us
get a kick out of
gamers
it,
and all
bro.
this stuff. They get,
Right.
yeah, they get a kick out of it. But what I
They
find
don't, Ramp.
interesting-
They don't. That's right. Go ahead. Joe.
what I find interesting is the mainstream, and when I say mainstream, the mainstream financial press. I don't want to say they're above that, but they tend to be more realistic. Now,
Right.
here's the reason why I'm saying that. I believe it was Forbes. A couple weeks ago, I read an article, and you know, and I meant to post this on the Mansion, and I got distracted, and it just slipped my mind. But a couple weeks ago, I read an article on Forbes, and the title of the article, and this is what caught my attention. The title of the article simply said, if the PlayStation 4 is the #1 console, why has the Xbox One made more money?
That's right.
No,
Why did it make? Because that's right.
seriously, that was
That
was
came
the
out.
title of the article.
Right. That
was
came
the
out.
title of the article.
Well, do you also remember the video that we put up, that I put up? Why did Microsoft,
I mean,
the
my dog was
Microsoft,
sitting next to me and her
and-
ears popped up. You know, I
Right.
mean, it was one of those scenarios like, whoa. Somebody
Sherm your mic, Sherm your mic.
Let's investigate.
Right. Because,
And I'm reading this article, and it broke it down step by step. It broke down why Sony is not only losing money, but like you're saying, laying people off. It broke down. Oh, gosh.
no, but you know, the thing is, man,
Can you hear me?
Sony,
Yeah, I can
Microsoft
hear
has
you.
always
Yeah,
been the
Oh,
number
my
2
bad.
console.
Yeah,
My
It was
controller-
always the number
my
2
controller
console.
shut off.
After
What-
all
what-
it goes through, it was always the number 2 console. It never was
Well,
third. It never was third, y'all. Never. Never been third.
Let me finish saying what I'm going to say, and
Go
then I'm
ahead.
going to change the batteries in my controller.
Oh, go ahead, brother.
So it broke down. The article broke down step by step by step. Why Sony, despite selling roughly 100 million PS4s, it listed the individual reasons why, despite that astronomical number, Sony's been losing money, especially in comparison to the Xbox One, which they said, has sold just over half as many. But they're saying, it listed why, even though the Xbox One latest, more or less confirmed numbers, it's hovering around between 50 and 65 million. How is it that the Xbox One has sold less consoles, but has made basically triple what Sony has made with the PS4? And it broke it down. I mean, it listed the services that Microsoft has that Sony doesn't. It listed the loyalty factor of Xbox.
The loyalty factor
versus-
is the big
Right.
thing that you got to pay attention to.
Right. We stay where we at, man. I mean, it is what it is, because we don't have another platform that's going to give us this kind of overall
Guys,
experience.
keep talking.
Yeah, the
guys, keep
overall
talking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
experience,
switch
no
these
doubt.
batteries.
The overall experience
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
makes Microsoft
Yeah,
and the
'cause the
Xbox
royal-
brand
the-
stand out.
Yeah, because the royalties is kind of how Sony gets screwed. If they didn't have
Right.
the royalty penalties, you'd be fine. But unfortunately, it's the royalties that are basically slowly poisoning you to death. Because you need other people's help to make your thing run, but to do that, you need royalty. It's the royalty charge. Microsoft is cheap, but they're not free.
Right. That's right. And ain't nothing
Except for
been,
their own consumer.
and they
Except for their own consumer.
and their online gaming definitely hasn't been free. Never has been free. Game, you know what I'm saying? Gaming ain't never been free. When do we go to the arcade and get on a daggum machine? Right. Well, okay. Right. I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. It's just.
But he did that in
dang
such
again.
a brilliant way. He did that through games with the service, with with the gold, membership combo. It was beautifully designed. You can legitly sell half as many, but make triple the amount of revenue. It was beautifully designed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean,
at the
and
same
that-
time, but they don't really pay attention to that corporate piece of it. That they just they sell more consoles, they automatically win. No,
Yeah, no,
'cause
that's not how it works.
What revenue do you have to take away from those sales to make the actual numbers say even?
Console sales is not the end all be all. It's good for
No.
cassettes, but it's not the actual, the actual story behind what's going on.
That's right.
Because look at what they. Look at the Wii. The Wii sold demos in the 360 and PS3 generation. It sold 127 million units because it was popular. Everybody's playing it. They had that stuff. In.
It gave way to motion control. It gave way to motion control as well.
That's right.
Now he sounds like he's on the other side of the yard.
2-6, Echo is on the third deck for RV. Be advised, primary entry point is clear, but that window is rapidly closing.
Roger. Well down at 3 mics. 2-6 out.
3 minutes.
In 3 minutes, my people will be inside. They will kill all of you.
I chose to take you alive. I can still
Y'all
change my mind.
gonna frozen?
Wrong man.
Lies. Tell them what you've done.
No, I can still
Yeah.
hear him. Maybe my headset's just better than your guys.
I'm telling you,
just
man.
listening to him
I
talk.
can
telling y'all.
I can hear him
I
too,
wish I knew.
but he's
I'm telling you,
But
he's
it
muzzled
sounds-
out.
It sounds like he's on the other side of the yard.
Yeah,
though. Like,
yeah, way down on the
I can
football
hear
field.
Apparently, what he's
Do
saying.
not talk to her.
Yeah.
Hey, the brakes.
I am not your child, old man. I lead
Can
soldiers.
you hear me better now?
train killers.
But we are
It still sounds like you're on the other side of the football field.
No?
Yeah. I'm hoping you didn't blow out your mic.
They're gonna breach.
No, I'm still here. I'm still here.
No,
have
see,
to
that's
talk.
better. What are you doing?
Whatever you're doing, you're
Yeah.
gonna have to do it like
Right
that.
there,
If you
Tom.
do anything else,
Yeah.
it doesn't act right.
Copy 3-1.
It doesn't act right. So go back and say what you were saying, cause we can't hear you, man.
What I was trying to say was that, you know, in the 360 and PS3 era,
Uh-huh.
was the most successful console, right? It
Right.
sold 127 million units. Because
Arkansas is down there.
Oh man, I don't know. Poor Heba, man.
Put us on the roof.
I mean,
We have to reach Echo fast. We got a lot of hell headed.
Yeah, it's breaking up on him. Yeah, no problem, brother. We got you, man. Like we said, we family here, man. It's all good, brother.
He is on his phone too.
Yeah,
Gotta
he's
also keep
trying,
that in
man.
mind.
Exactly, man. He's trying. He's trying. Go ahead, y'all.
But the no, like, you know, because it's not always the end all be all, you know, just because
Right.
you know they sell the most. And we had this argument in the beginning of the generation too. And We
Right.
had this for years and years.
Right.
You know, but Phil, you know, legitimately said straight out, you know, that's not our business prerogative. That's not our business model. It's not to sell consoles. It's to make revenue, and that's exactly what he did.
That's right. And get the brand back. Put the brand up. And look
Yeah.
what happened, man. Xbox Studios. I mean, if you don't see the work, man, it's right there. It's right there, man. It took him, what, 4.5 years? 4.5 years. Because he said
Yeah.
that. Right. It would have actually been 5 of 2020 of the springtime. Because that's when he first had his interview. I think late spring of 2014. I'm correct, when he took over, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
Mhm.
or
yeah, late,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly, late spring, wasn't it?
Because
That's
during
right.
the during that spring, that's basically when like
he took
everybody was
over.
in a panic.
Yeah,
And that's when everybody
exactly.
was in a panic when they were trying to fix it before it launched.
That's right. That's right. And so yeah, man.
But
So
I,
he did it.
but I do agree that the world that they were trying to push then, this world wasn't ready for. But now I say something different.
Yeah.
I say something
Right.
different.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
you just
very
can't
true.
move. You just can't move fast with
Right, you
console
can't-
culture. You just
And
can't.
you
do
can't
that.
move fast. You
just
can't bring
do that.
mannequins to life. You can't bring mannequins to life.
Yeah.
You know.
You can't bring mannequins to life. You know.
Right.
You can't.
You know.
Before we do. We clear.
Yeah, it is interesting though, because I think about that occasionally. How when the Xbox One was first introduced, how honestly, I don't really think it was so much the gaming public that freaked out. More so, I believe it was the gaming press.
Yeah, well,
And-
everybody just didn't like the
and
concept
they just
that
followed it.
they didn't like they didn't like the surveillance
online
thing that
com-
broke that
right.
year as well. That's
well,
the big
that's
thing.
true.
Yeah,
That was a big
That's the
thing.
big thing.
But you know what? If it was just that, I think people would have been like, okay,
yeah. But then you had the
We-
DRM online 24/7, and
That,
then
and see,
everybody
that's
freaked
what
out.
it was. That's what it was. It was the DRM. It was the constant online requirement to where your console had to check in with our servers once every 24 hours. It was that whole thing. And then when your retailers got involved, specifically GameStop. GameStop got heavily,
Now look at it now.
They heavily
They did,
lobbied.
right.
Right. They heavily lobbied. And First of all, I used to work for GameStop, and so I still
Are
keep
all
in
those
touch
horror
with some
stories
of
really
my-
true?
Oh, they're beyond true. No, seriously. No, they're like what?
No,
what,
I
what
believe you. That's why I'm laughing.
what you have heard is barely the half of it. Seriously, it's my prediction is one day somebody's gonna do a movie based on GameStop. No, really, and it will totally blow your mind. I mean, the mismanagement from upper levels, the corruption, just oh my goodness, it's what you
Well,
heard.
I remember back in
the
the day, they took
bad.
EB Games from from underneath the rug and wiped them out, and then they basically stood on top forever. But everybody was like, well, the only thing to beat physical is digital, but we need digital to be invented first.
But see, you know what? Even full disclosure, I started working at EB Games first. In fact, I was with them when they were. I was with them before they were EB Games, when they were Electronics Boutique.
Yeah, I remember that.
So,
wow, you just made me feel really old there. Damn. Okay.
Yeah. It was my second. It was my second job. I had a full-time job, and then I was working there part-time. But honestly, it was so cool. I loved working at that spot.
Yeah,
it was
every time I went into an EB Games compared to a GameStop, it always felt more gamer-like. It never felt corporate-like, and that's what I didn't like about GameStop. It felt too corporate sales-ish and not gamer-ish, and that's the whole concept is GameStop.
That's exactly
GameStop.
Right. Yeah.
When they came to be, they put more made it more corporate. Yeah, they did.
Well, but if you remember, and okay, we're gonna go way back, and Hebot, if you're listening, I know you're about to probably start laughing at what I'm about to say. But GameStop used to be Funko Land.
Oh, Funko Land.
I don't know if you.
I remember Funko.
I don't know if you guys remember Funko.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yo, you remember Suncoast? Do you remember Suncoast?
Yes. GameStop was originally Funko Land. They grew and they grew and they grew, and then some investment firms got a hold of them and said, "Hey, we could take you guys to the next level."
Yeah, I remember that. Yo, I remember that now. Yeah,
Yes.
Wow, that was a long time ago. Oh my god.
Exactly.
That was a long time ago.
So in the meantime, on the across the street,
and then EB Games was like, "Oh, these people aren't going to be a problem. They're just some nobody." But nope, that's exactly what happened. Everybody just wiped them.
Yep. Right.
They underestimated.
Here's the thing, though. But yeah, that's true. But here's the thing. GameStop, the way they went about purchasing and then ultimately doing a hostile takeover of EB Games, when I say it was foul, I mean it was ruthlessly foul. People lost their jobs after they had been promised that, oh, no, we like what you guys are doing. We like what you guys are doing, you're making money and blah, blah. Because EB Games was not hurting financially. EB Games was doing just fine.
It was actually doing better than GameStop, too.
Yes, it was.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it was. But it was exactly like Legal just said. They saw GameStop like, whatever. And then GameStop came and, started, it was that classic scenario like, hey, how you doing? We like what you're doing there. You know what? I think we can work together. How about you can share stuff with us and we'll share stuff with you. And but what they were doing, they were making backdoor deals, and then by the time that the executives at EB Games saw what was happening.
Yeah, then they bought the rug from under them. Yeah, that's how they wiped them off the market.
I mean,
they got them.
Totally.
So don't think that these companies are buddy-buddies. See, that's what people think. Oh, it can't happen.
No.
You hear it all the time.
Right.
Well, they ain't going to happen. They got money. It's not about that, man.
Right.
These companies are trying to make money. They're going to try to knock out their competitors. That's what it's all about. You keep on thinking it's not. Right.
But see, here's the point, and yeah, and I kind of took a detour a little bit, but here's the point,
No,
my
you're
original
good, man.
point that I was trying to make. So you got back in 2013 when the Xbox One was had its big reveal, when Microsoft did the big reveal of it, and then folks were just totally flipping out and losing their minds about like you said, the constant the surveillance thing, and then but more importantly the DRM thing, and then always having to be online, and which of course Microsoft was hyping the fact that and eventually you'll be able to purchase all your games through us. And that's when the retailers, specifically GameStop, lost their minds. And they petitioned, a lot of people don't realize it, but GameStop was the main force that convinced Microsoft to change direction as far as the making the online purchasing thing their primary goal, making that a priority. GameStop threatened Microsoft and said, you know what? Unless you change and retract what you announced, we refuse. We will not carry your Xbox One console in any of our stores worldwide. Now, in 2013, that carried some weight because, GameStop was in a better position because, not too many people were doing digital transactions at that time. And the Microsoft store wasn't really where it is right now as far as the brick and mortar stores where you could walk in. So GameStop was you had GameStop and you had Best Buy. At the time, you had Circuit City. I mean, your retailers, your walk-in stores were at the time the main way that people bought their consoles. Well, GameStop promised, they literally promised Microsoft that we will not carry one console. And our clout is we've got so much influence. They promised that they would be able to get Best Buy on board, that they would be able to get Sears on board, that they would be, they made these grand threats and Microsoft caved in. But of course, as we all know, now Microsoft had a game plan like, okay, you know what, we'll give that to you right now, but we're still in the background. We're going to be working on doing our own thing. And so fast forward to 2019, I mean, most people are getting their content digitally. And rightfully so.
But
it
was all about that change factor. People didn't want that change that fast.
Well,
but then everybody forgets that 360 was there for 8 years. I mean, it was there beyond like recognition of 5. So everybody got too comfortable with how everything was. But it's like time to move on. But no one wanted to move on because people didn't have internet. Everybody didn't have the same thing as everybody else was. That's why the DRM was pissing everybody off. So they had to change it to a certain extent.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's definitely true. But I guess the main thing to remember is that from a corporate perspective, yeah, change can be somewhat scary and even difficult. But if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
Well, that's kind of what we said. It was going to happen regardless whether you want to wait now or you want to wait till now. It's going to happen regardless whether you try to stop it or not. It's just
around the corner. Yeah, I just find it very interesting that that GameStop basically was throwing their weight around, and you look at them now, and I'm not taking any pleasure in that. I'm really not. But to me, it's kind of
it is. Well, I would say it's karma for GameStop personally, if you really think about it. The problem was they were that giant for a long time. They legitly almost lasted practically almost 20 years.
Yeah, about 20 years.
Yeah, almost 20 years. I mean, well, they're not dead yet, but they're going to. But I always thought that GameStop's like sales concepts were dumb and they could be so much better and you would make more money if you did it that way. But they're like, nope, this is the way we do it. This is the way we sell. You know, like they weren't open to suggestions at all. Like if you open to suggestions, you would make more money and you'd be more profitable and you would survive. But they don't want to take suggestion.
But see, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that, and I'm telling you, as a former GameStop employee, I'm telling you, it goes way up the ladder as far as
it probably has to go. It probably has to do with the foundation concept of which it was founded. That's probably how far up. How far up it goes.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. When you listen, when you put as a business model, when you put more focus on your pre-sold stock over and above your brand new shrink wrap, never been opened, straight from the distributor stock. Seriously,
no, I understand.
That becomes a problem. Because
you should be selling new stuff first, not pre-old stuff.
Right, but see,
but if you're also but GameStop likes to make money off of sold products. That's how they basically brought back revenue because they basically had to basically get cut from the stuff that they sold, so they weren't making anything when people basically brought in and traded stuff in and out. So they had to basically find ways to recuperate that. It just wasn't fair to the consumer the way they did it.
Well, again, that's true, but they were making money. They would still make money off of the new stuff, but the percentage that they were making on the used stuff compared to the new was like night and day. And so and as the years went by, they focused more and more on the used, not the new. And from a consumer standpoint, depending on how you looked at it, okay, you know what? There's a game that I used to have back in the day, and I got rid of it, or I lent it to a friend of mine, and they lost it, or whatever. And now I want to, so it's one of those scenarios where, I can always go to GameStop and find it. So it did serve a purpose.
Yes, it did.
But again, when that was your primary focus,
right,
it became a problem. Not just for the consumer as far as not having enough copies of new stuff, but you got plenty of copies of old stuff. But you claim to be a store that caters to both audiences, so you got that as an issue. But then also because you're focusing so much on the older stuff, your companies that are sending you the new stuff, your Segas, your Nintendos, your Microsofts, your Sonys, to say nothing of the third-party publishers, your Ubisoft, your Activision, and on and on and on. When you're not focusing on their new stuff, well, now you're starting to you're starting to tee off, the Activisions of the world, and you're starting to tee off the Konamis of the world, and et cetera, et cetera. So now you're making enemies with them, and because your customer service, and I hate to say it because again I used to work there, but the management, some of the stuff, was coming down from up top. The way the managers would sometimes do you, that was given the green light from upstairs. I mean,
that's crazy.
A lot of us, a lot of us that worked there who were not managers, we used to get into it all the time with management. Because it's like, hey, you know what? This is foul. This isn't right. And it's like, well, they said that we need to do X, Y, and Z, but X, Y, and Z eventually is going to catch up with the company. And so fast forward to now, I mean, all you got to do, and who knows, maybe you guys have already done it, but go on YouTube and type in GameStop horror stories.
Right.
Oh, no, I've heard plenty been told to me. That's why I asked if they were true.
Oh man, they are beyond true.
Like,
I mean, look, it's
besides
bad when you are embarrassed to work for a company, not
I
because
mean,
the pay
I've been
sucks.
in my state. I have a couple GameStops
Yeah,
that I go to, and
the
some
pay
of them
don't suck.
some of them are the ones I like to go to, and then some are I try to avoid unless I really
Right.
really need something. So like I have that one store that I'll go to and everybody loves me, and then I'll go to the other store that basically almost everybody hates me because I'm like that person that just likes everything new, everything new, everything new. They're like, no, we only got used stuff right now. I'm like,
You see? Now, what did you just say? What did you just say?
I
didn't know.
I just said I have to go to my actual store to go get something new, and not the other
to
one
get
where
something
it
new,
only
and
has new
they
stuff.
hate you, and they hate you for it.
Yeah. Well, I like new stuff. That's actually what I prefer to buy new. I don't want to buy it used if I just buy it new.
Right. But the key phrase of what you just said was that they hate you for it.
Yeah, they hate me for it.
Now,
Yeah. Because that's how they make their money. I know that.
I had no idea that was your experience. I mean, how would I know? But yet, it coincides perfectly with what I just said. Their focus is not on new stuff. They want you to buy used. Their profit margin on used items is ridiculously high. Ridiculously high. Which, again, I mean, think about it. If you take, I guarantee you right now, last month, somebody went in there, bought Gears 5 for $60. Finished Gears 5, let's just say in 2 weeks. I'm just saying. Let's say they finished it in 2 weeks. And for whatever reason, they want to take it back and trade it in and get something else. They paid $60 for that game. 5-star game. They take it in the GameStop, the same exact GameStop they bought it from. Even got the receipt. Yeah, I want to trade this in. I want to get something else. Now you're thinking logically, well, I'm not going in there expecting to get my $60 back. It's only been 2 weeks.
Why not?
Well, because I hear you. I agree with you, but realistically,
that's not how GameStop works.
Right. So you know what? If I get half my money back, I'm good. I'm good. No, I guarantee you, no. If they got $10 for a $60 game, I would be shocked. Seriously. And I'm saying that as somebody that used to work for them. In 2 weeks, and then they'll turn around. If you go for it, they will turn around. And I know $10 is extreme, but I will say this: it won't be more than $20. I guarantee you, it won't be more than $20. So you pay $60, you get $20 back. They'll turn around, repackage it, put some new shrink wrap on it. They won't put it in the case. They'll put it in that drawer up under the cash register. And then put the box out there on the wall, because that's another crazy inventory system they have, is that if you want to know how many items, how many discs they actually have of any individual game, count the boxes. Because all those boxes are empty. If you count the boxes of any individual game. So if there's 8 boxes of Gears 5 on the wall, then they got 8. That's literally how many discs of Gears 5 they have in the store. If they got 20, then there's going to be 20 empty boxes on the wall. It's like, anyway.
Well, I totally agree. But I got that red Volcano controller, Xbox One controller, back in July because I needed a spare controller to wait for my 2.0 that comes out next week, and I brought it back to GameStop because I was low on cash. I legitimately just went on sick leave. I needed my money. I went back to that same GameStop that I got the controller at, $75, got $15.
There you go. I rest my case. I rest my case. That's what
75 to equal 15. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but okay.
Now, let me tell you, how much do you think after they took
I barely
that controller
touched it.
from you?
I barely touched it. It was worth the same amount.
I believe it.
Yeah.
It was in like new condition. I guarantee you paid $75 for that controller.
Yeah.
They gave you
That
a
was pretty
pittance
fast.
back. They gave you a pittance back,
Normally for hardware, they do pay more, but not very much more. So I was like kind of annoyed.
How much do you think that they actually repackaged that controller and sold it for? How much what do you think the price?
Probably the exact same price I bought it for.
65.
Yep, I was gonna say $5 cheaper.
Yep.
They'll mark it down $5. Yeah, $65. Honestly, I want to say 69. But
well, no, I said 75. I said 70. Yeah, 70.
Oh, it'll be about 65.
So they'll mark it
69
down.
then.
Yeah.
69. Yep.
Yeah, 69. Yeah, $70. Yeah, yeah, $70.
Yep, $70. But yet they turn around and don't even give you half. That's their business model. Well, eventually people will wise up. So when you think about the fact that, well, wait a minute, I don't even have to go into GameStop. I'll just order a new controller from the Xbox store, or I'll go literally
Or send it back to Microsoft.
I'll send it back to right. Exactly.
But you know the thing is, man, people just don't use GameStop right. GameStop is more now for a retro aspect, a brand new aspect, and more for the you know, the fun fair of having that one-on-oneness with the community, man. GameStop, right. There's a lot of things within the company that we may not disagree with, but GameStop is the last entity where it's community and gaming in one spot. It's the last. When GameSpot leaves, there's nobody else like that. There's nobody else like that.
Absolutely. And see, that's why I said earlier, I'm not grabbing some pom-poms and like cheering for GameStop's demise. You go to
GameStop, you can get some exclusive toys, man. Those toys ain't just in America. They getting toys all around the world up in that store. Right. All kind of collectors.
Because maybe that's why Toys R Us wants to basically rebirth themselves and come back to life, because they sense GameStop is,
it's still there. Or GameStop's still successful with toys. They're still successful right there. They're making a lot of money with that.
Well, that was their new niche that they picked up that did help them a little bit. That was their new niche that they borrowed from somebody else, and basically it helped them sustain sales to where games would not.
Because why? Because why, Reaper? I've always said this. Gaming is not always about touching a controller and punching buttons. There's more to a gamer than just a console and games. Being a gamer, man, can be buying a T-shirt, buying a gaming T-shirt, going to get a gamer toy, a Pac-Man toy, or what, that's a gamer.
It could be me having the Kratos wonderful statue on my wonderful,
in your driveway,
my shelf, even though I beat it and sold my PlayStation for no apparent reason other than I just wanted to have the toy, right?
No, Reaper had a toy, but to be honest with you, you could make a Kratos statue and put it in your driveway. You know what? That's a part of the gaming community. That's a part of the gaming culture. It's a culture. We playing these video games is just part of it. It's one side of it. Yeah, we hear you. We hear you, Ebot. You good? Yup.
I've been trying to talk for like 8,000 years.
No, I can.
Brother. Go ahead.
I heard you once you were eating whatever you were eating.
No, what I'm saying is that the GameStop right now, when they merged and bought Thinking, which they all specialize in pop culture.
Right.
Things that have to do with pop culture.
I'm dying so much. Rats messing with me. Yep, you're right.
Like what you said with, because the collectibles gaming is more about it's more than just about the controller. It's about lifestyle. What represents gaming as a whole, and to collectibles and a bunch of other, venues that are branching out now, like TV shows. They're trying to do movies.
Yeah.
So it's all part of gaming.
Well, I think it's that part now that they have to master. Now it's the media aspect of the gaming culture that you have to, capture, and not so much the digital version of it. But I'm kind of curious what that Witcher series is gonna look like, though. That looks actually really interesting.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be pretty hot.
That's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
That's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
It's gonna be as nice as me playing this game tonight, dying every second of the way. T Reaper, I got some fun for you, bro. You gonna watch this? You gonna be dying. I'm actually doing pretty
No.
good, man.
I legitimately had too much fun finally coming to fruition with Modern Warfare. I was intensely impressed with that realism mode. I'll give Infinity War. They know how to simulate military simulation. Absolutely. But oh my God, nobody on this planet should be able to actually even millisecondly.
You have to literally find exactly. You literally have to find the cushion. You have to find the way to go, because if you don't, man, they're just popping you every single time. You gotta find that little aspect. I think I just found it.
Virtually aware now. You can't just walk around and that's what a lot of people are mad about. They're like, it's no longer a relaxing experience for most people, because now you have to be superficially aware of everything around you.
I don't know why casuals don't want to grow up.
You suck. Stop trying
exactly. Right. Stop. at some point, you have to elevate your gaming, man. You have to. You can't. You cannot sit here and demand the industry to be like you, man. Come on, bro. Come on. The industry is not going to be like
cater.
Right.
No,
it cannot just cater
like
to
you. Everybody is different.
Right.
Yeah, everybody's different. It has catered to different people with different needs, different desires, different entertainment wishes.
I'm dying so much, man. I don't care that y'all see me dying. I don't play Call of Duty, but I'm on the T-Reaper.
You suck.
Right. I'm on exactly. No, that's right. I said it. It's
I don't care. Play me in Gears. You see.
Exactly. It's not. I'm not right. Look, you can't rule everything, right? You can't rule everything.
No, you can't.
And every now and then I want to laugh.
It's always better you at something in one direction or another.
And I want to laugh because Call of Duty is one that it's always handed it to me when you're. Yeah, Ram said it's not the game, it's you. Exactly.
And you the same words towards the ponies on you. You saw that?
That's right. He's
use the same pony logic talk on you. It's not the game story. It's you.
It's you. That's right. It's you. And he's right. There's nothing to be mad about. It's me. Here's the thing. How am I gonna discredit T-Reaper? Right? He went through this game. He knocked it out. Right? He's a first-person master. He's a master at it. Now watch what I said. A master. That requires practice. That requires a skill, like Hebot would say. You can have the keyboard and mouse. You can have the elite controllers. You can have everything that looks technologically advanced. But if you suck, you suck. It's not the controller. It's not the TV. It's not the console. It's you.
Not run that fast. It's that simple.
It's that simple.
If you cannot physically do it, you cannot physically do it.
That's right.
Fast Reaper sucks in all the games he plays.
But
yeah, I suck just because I played on easy, huh? Yeah,
right.
I doubt that now. Yeah.
Don't even ask me. I don't fucking touch a multiplayer. I fucking suck.
No, Hebot, you said that. Look, man, everybody has their strong points, right? That's the thing. Everybody has their strong points. And if the part about it, man, is being honest. I knew coming up on here, playing realism, veterans, I'm going to die. I'm dying, okay? But I'm also progressing. You're not seeing me just die, and I don't progress.
No, yeah. Well, I did enjoy that. If you really tried hard enough every single time, you would keep going forward. And that, you would push forward, push. And eventually we got through it. I got through it. But, it took us all night to
It takes
actually
a while.
It was just insane.
Right.
It was just all night. Because there was one section, I was actually on a thread earlier, and he was like, I was in this one spot, and I kept dying 15, 20 times. I'm like, yeah, I was in this one spot, and I died 60 times in a row before I even moved forward. So,
I think I know about that spot you're talking about. I heard somebody else talk about it. They said it took them 40 times. Yeah, it's crazy.
It will make you, it will make you work for it, but there is a pushing element. I mean, you have some of these, more advanced, movement, based mechanic games that are out now, like Shakiro. Some of these games, if you cannot physically do it, you cannot physically do it at the end. But at least with that, the realism, at least if you kept pushing forward, you could eventually finish it. But that's just like, it was just on the, it was just like, it requires the, the reaction time is what it requires. But it just depends on how good or bad your reaction time as your body, as a human being actually is. And that's kind of like, back in the 90s, that's kind of what we were all really, what we were all debating, because everybody liked, the single player. But then, like you said, Dory, who am I going to play with? And then, everybody was, everybody was then arguing over what online should and should not be, and they're like, well, why don't we just get everybody their own community and see how it grows in 20 years from now? And here we are now again, and what happened? You basically created a brand new cyber world of, pop culture is what you did. But the problem is that, originally it was designed for the people that didn't, that wanted to play with their friends and, didn't necessarily cater to single player to have a home. We have a home now, but now what we're trying to do is taking all those homes that were created for each different platform and
merge them together.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's only going to be certain games because that's the enjoyment. It's not going to be every single game.
Yeah, I agree with you. Casuals and hardcore can't be in the same concept.
No, they cannot.
It's just not going to. It's just not going to work.
Because you remember, we're trying to make a nice, friendly environment, and we don't want nobody slitting their wrists, having nervous breakdowns because you suck. I really don't get no enjoyment out of that. I'd rather for you to go play in a ring of suckies and let the suckies determine who's the best sucky than to come over here, man, have no chance, beat you up real bad, and you go to school, you can't do your homework because you think you're a loser. I don't have time for that, man.
Well, but you know what? But see the sad part about that.
But I also don't really like that the internet has now, activated that Fortnite craze where kids are getting beat up in school because they're losing in Fortnite to these kids in the same school. I think that's kind of stupid.
That's kind of stupid.
Personally.
Right.
That's really stupid.
Wait, is that really a thing?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's happening.
I work with a mother of two. Her children, one of her child basically beat one of his pony friends in Fortnite, and then the kid beat him up in the school the next day.
Right.
Oh,
in
terrible.
Fortnite.
Wow.
In Fortnite now.
In Fortnite people. Same school. Fortnite.
Right.
Fortnite.
That
people.
is crazy.
Right. Fortnite people.
Wow.
Fortnite.
Now,
right.
See,
we're not talking Halo. We're not talking
there.
Call of Duty. We're talking Fortnite, man.
Fortnite.
See, you know what? See, that right there is just another prime example of why, from the grand scheme of things, as far as other areas of media entertainment, why gaming gets such a bad rap.
That's right.
Yeah, but gaming addiction, people, is that really a thing? Do we really honestly want to go that far and blame, society for, gaming again when there's a whole bunch of different versions of society that's wrong with society that has nothing to do with gaming?
No, that's not what I'm doing.
No, I'm just asking your
all.
opinion of it, though. I'm asking your opinion. That's what I'm bringing up as a questioning concept.
Of course not. Oh, no, of course not. No. That, you know what? People that do that, and I'm just going to be honest here. People that's one of the things that
they need
burns
something.
my toast.
Yeah, they need something to.
It really, really does.
It goes back to that output. It goes back to that scar. Yep, goes back to that scar face. You need that finger to point and say that's the bad guy. That's right.
Yeah. When in reality, it's just people that do that, and I don't care who it is. I don't care from what corner of life they come from or they represent.
Right.
People that do that do it out of sheer laziness and irresponsibility.
That's right.
True. Fact.
Perfect. The perfect example, which sadly we have witnessed them do it over and over again. Whenever there's a mass shooting, someone always wants to blame video games.
Right.
Oh, the shooter loved to play Call of Duty. Oh, the shooter was a big Halo fan.
So what?
The shooter was, right. But of course, right. So what? But see, by blaming gaming,
right.
You create a scapegoat, which isn't fair.
Right.
Yo, Sherm.
Right.
Did we not have G.I. Joe and all that growing up? We had all of that
Man,
stuff
Yeah, we
growing
did.
up,
Yeah,
man.
we did. Yeah, we did.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
We had
Exactly.
all that stuff growing up.
Exactly.
Did nobody even
Well,
get whooped blaming on the toys? You sound stupid if you
but
did
here's
that.
the thing, though.
Oh, he
But
plays with
Or
Death
the,
Stroll.
you mean
wait,
He plays with
No, I would
Zartan.
also like to remind
He plays
everybody
with Zartan too much.
before we had
He likes
video games,
Cobra.
keep in mind we also had anime and comics and
That's
all that
right.
stuff.
We
So
sure
that,
did.
that stuff goes way
Well,
deeper than it
Now,
does video
it
games.
does.
now watch
It
this. Now I'm
does.
gonna say something that I know all y'all remember. This one. You remember jumping off the top of your roof because you thought you was Superman, and they even try to do that.
Right.
Do y'all
Right.
remember? Now watch
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Do
yeah,
y'all remember
no, I
Cartoon
remember
Network?
that.
You remember when Cartoon Network first came out?
Yeah.
And remember what Cartoon Network
Yeah.
said? We don't blame the cartoon. We blame you if your child is jumping off a tree
Oh,
or
yeah,
off a
yeah,
thing
yeah,
thinking
yeah,
he's
yeah,
Superman. You, as a parent, must be raising your child to be dumb. That was when Cartoon Network, people of Cartoon Network were bringing cartoons back because you remember they had to go to the United States government because the government is what took out Looney Tunes.
Yeah, because Cartoon Network only almost got sued, right?
Yeah, that's right. Cartoon
Right.
Network fought
Yeah.
against it and won. They say, yo, if the kid is jumping off a damn house with a towel around his neck, thinking he's Superman, it's not Superman, bro. Your child is stupid, bro. That was the funniest, bro. That was the fun. He says because we grew up in a generation where Yosemite had guns, Bugs Bunny had guns, Daffy Duck had guns. Nobody
Yep,
was going
yeah.
around shooting each other. We were
Right.
raised different, and
Right.
that's how they want it.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
how these kids are raised. It has nothing to do with the cartoons. Has absolutely nothing to do with the cartoons. Slap
But
the
again,
kid and slap the
it's-
parents. Go ahead, Go ahead, fam.
But again, it all goes back to irresponsibility
Yeah,
and
exactly.
laziness.
That's right.
So,
That's right, man.
so I don't want to like monitor my kids. I don't want
Right.
to sit down. Yeah, okay. So my child is a huge. You got a parent. You got a parent.
Right. You got a parent.
Kid. You got a parent whose child loves Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
Okay.
Oh God.
So like, first of all, if your child is 6 years old playing Grand
Right.
Theft Auto, you
Right.
have failed as a parent.
You
All
feel
right, I just want to get that out the way.
my oldest daughter,
I just wanna get that out the
has
way.
beat all the Grand Theft Autos, and I will not let her beat Grand Theft Auto 5 because I haven't beat it.
Right.
It's not because I feel
Okay,
bad.
well, but-
Because if she beats it all and
Okay,
I haven't
no,
beat
no.
it, it'd be the worst defeat I've
Well,
ever
well,
had in my life.
But
The
you know
worst
what?
defeat.
But, okay.
You will
Okay,
not
but-
play
but-
Grand
but
Theft
see-
Auto 5.
Okay, but Dorian, how old is your? How
Oh,
old is
my
your daughter?
oldest daughter's 15, right? But she's 15.
Okay, see, I'm
Right.
yeah.
It's a
teenagers,
difference.
That's different.
Right.
That's different. But
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, it's different.
I know some parents who have let their
4-year-olds, yeah,
and
right.
Yes.
No,
Play Grand Theft
Sherminator,
Auto
I
3.
agree with you, man. Like, since I've been on Xbox Live, since this actually created, I've had plenty of pupils. I've met some kids when they were 9, some kids when they were 6, some kids when they were 11. Like, the ages are insane what
Yes.
these parents will let them, the
Yes.
kids play
Yes.
on. It's insane.
Right.
Right. Now, look. You know what? When it's all said and done, that's your child.
Right.
Yep.
No
Your
one's
house.
knocking it. No one's knocking it.
No,
But what
no,
I'm saying
but
is,
see,
as long
here's
as
my
you're
thing, Dorian.
parental advising, but there's certain things. Now, look, man, there's certain things that are just certain things, okay? When my
Right,
son
right.
Nehemiah started playing Grand Theft Auto 5, he was like 6. But you want to know what he was doing? He was running around in a car, running to him, a high-speed chase with the cops. That was baffling to him. Look, I'm getting away from the cops, and he gets out and he shoots and he dies. You know, that's about as far as it go. I didn't get him into that, letting him play that, and and all that other extracurricular activity that goes on in Grand Theft Auto. It just wasn't going
Right.
down like that.
But-
You see what I'm
Right,
saying?
see,
Right.
And why was that? Why
Because
was
he
that?
because
I mean,
because he has to stay in a child's place. There's some things that children
you.
don't quite
Thank you.
understand. Their minds are
Thank
not
you.
built for that
Exactly.
stuff.
Exactly.
And so that's
And
why
my
we as
point.
parents need to go revert. We need to stay in an adult mindset. When you can't raise your kid
Right.
right, you put yourself, you put your mindset in a childish in a childish aspect to where you're not, the outcome is not going to be right. You have to know how to be mature, man. You have to, when you mature, stay mature. You don't become childish once you mature. Children don't do that. Children naturally going to grow past being a child. They're going to actually grow into an adult. They just got to get their minds right. The mind has to always be right.
Well, see, here's the thing. You obviously, you let your son play. You let your son play Grand Theft. But see, here's the thing. Just by your statement, it's obvious that you didn't just like put the controller in his lap.
No, because he
turned the system on and then walk away.
No, that wasn't.
No, he has to know the difference between right and wrong. And then
yeah, he had to ride around. He was riding around, just running. You know, he just didn't know. You know, that was it. And the reason why he wanted to play Grand Theft Auto, he saw his oldest daughter doing it, and I said, man, you can't play this game. You can't play this game. You know, my whole family is nothing but gamers, man. I can't, you know.
Right.
When you're a parent, right? You lead by example, okay? I'm not gonna be playing. Okay, my son was playing Gears of War, but you know what? What people don't understand is there's settings in Gears of War. Turn the gore off, turn the cussing off.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
Once he learned, he was like, Dad, there's no blood on my screen. Well, you don't need blood on your screen. What are you talking about? But when you're playing, why do I not see blood? It's just because you got the kid version. That's what I used to tell him. You got the kid version. You see what I'm saying? Because there ain't nothing to explain. He wants me as in the adult to explain to him as a kid and put him on the same level. Nah, bro. Just understand that you're a kid and I'm the adult. Your versions, there it is. Your versions are going to always be different from my versions.
Right.
When you become an adult, then you get with me.
You know what that's like? That's like, and again, this is probably the third time I've referred to my grandmother, but tonight. But it's like my grandmother used to tell me. I remember this from back in the day when I was little.
Right.
When I would try and overstep my bounds, if she was like having a conversation with some other folks her age.
You better not do that.
Yeah, you already
stay
know.
in your place,
you
boy.
know, don't you?
Yup, grown
That's
folk
right.
talk.
That's
you
right.
Stay in your place.
That's
boy.
right.
And that could get you a whooping quick, man. In our community,
my grandmother used to do that to me too.
Oh my gosh, bro.
I
used to hate that.
She's like, the adults are talking, be quiet.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
That's it. And you know what? They always started talking to each other when you needed something. Why are you talking? I need you right now.
Yeah.
You just started talking. So you knew you had to wait. And they see you and they don't care. They see you, they don't care.
No.
You wait till I'm done.
But you know, those times don't really become like self-apparent until you're that age yourself, and then you look back on it, and you're like, oh, I get what you were doing there. That makes sense.
Exactly.
That makes sense now.
Nobody's doing anything different. I'm telling you. You're either doing it right or you're doing it wrong. You either raising your kids right or you're not raising your kids at all. And raising kids is different. Look, man, there's some people that think, well, they wash clothes, they clean the house, they cook dinner. They think that's raising a family. They think that's what you do. That's not raising. That's what you're supposed to do.
I mean,
you want a clean house, right? You want your clothes washed, right?
Right.
But raising your family
hope so.
has nothing. Right. When you raise your family, that has nothing to do with it. Because you know what? There's people who are unfortunate who don't have a house, who may not be able to wash their clothes every day. But you know what? They can raise their family because raising a family has nothing to do with that. There's people that actually think that, man. There's people that think money is the issue to raising their kids. There's people that think beating them. You know, every time he makes a mistake, I'm going to pop him upside his head. I'm going to. But, you know, there's a good book that says, parents, don't provoke your kids to wrath. Don't provoke your kids to anger. There's there's mutual respect. Just because you're the adult, you're the grandparent, or you're the mother or the father, respect your kid. Because let me tell you something, man.
It's all about relationships, man.
Right, because that kid don't stay a kid too long. Just like any good old dog, just like any good old pet.
And
When you
once
beat
that
that
kid is an
pet,
adult, that
there
adult
he
can
gonna
now
get
use
you,
adult
boy.
tactics
There
on
you
the
go.
parent,
There
and the
you
parent
go.
doesn't like that very much once they
There
can
you
play
go.
their own game.
Same with a
Once
good
you
pet.
can play your own game, you are so screwed if that child is smarter than you. I'm
That's
sorry.
right. Same
It's just
same
the way
with
it works.
same with a good old pet, right? You don't want that. You don't want the crocodile effect, right? Crocodiles don't. They have great memories. They don't forget their abusers. They will literally track you
Right.
down. This one
Yeah.
case happened in America.
That's
The
been
guy
proven.
beat.
No, that's been
That's a
proven.
fact
Yeah.
proven. It happened in Florida. It happened in America, man. There was a guy that used to raise alligators, and he used to beat them, mistreat them, beat them. Well, a hurricane happened. It destroyed his farm, right? He done moved away, man. He done went to another state. The crocodile pops up where he's at, trying to attack him, dude. uh, Crocodiles have tracking sensors, man. They're like
Yeah.
they're like
Yeah,
sharks, but
that's
they're
part
on
of their
land.
predatory.
That's on
Yeah.
the right.
Right. It's like that's part
The
of their
sharks have
predatory
that.
nature. Yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. Sharks have that beacon type sense. They're electromagnetic
Right.
beacons on the tip of their
Right.
nose. That's why they can sense things way far away. Well, the darn crocodile's the same way. He pick your scent up. Once you make him mad, it's God given, right? We don't know how he does it, but once he
Right.
acquires, hey, I don't like this now. I'm snapping on it, so I'm about to get the scent of it. Once that happens, dude, your scent flies in the air every day. It's in the air. It travels, right? This darn thing, your scent, there's no telling how far your scent travels in this world. Nobody knows because we're not animals like that. We don't have that ability. But that
Right.
daggum
Right.
alligator can pick your scent up. And then he recognizes you. He's like, yo, that's T Reaper. I just smell. Oh, that's the a-hole that used to whoop me. Now I'm back on my track. And he'll track you down, man. The damn crocodile will find you. This is a proven fact. This is something that they can't even
Yeah.
explain. They can't even
Right.
explain that.
Well, I personally would just say my crocodile, sensor is on that Twitter
Right.
thread. That's all I would basically say.
right. He's so stupid. That's right. That's funny. You're exactly. Now, that's good stuff. But you're right, man. You're right. Man, that's the thing, man. A good structured home, mommy, daddy. We're not ever saying things are going to be perfect, but you try to keep your environment as best as you can for the kids.
Yeah.
Don't have your kids. Don't be repeating to your kids too much. Don't beat your kids every time they do something. Teach your kids.
Right.
Admonish. What is it? Minister to them. Show them
Mm-hmm.
that you care through your teachings. Show them that you're patient with them. But don't do it to where you're passive. Where
Oh,
they
right.
know
Yeah,
that you're
yeah.
not going to
They'll
do
walk all
anything.
over you.
Because there
Yeah.
you go. And why would
Yeah.
they? And why do?
Because
And
once
why would they walk all over
once you have the
Why would they-
passive person there, the child becomes smart enough, knows that you're not
That-
going to do anything.
that
So
you're not gonna
why
do
should they
anything.
even provoke you?
Now I got a question.
Mhm.
Why do you think kids do that? Why do you think they will naturally do that? Because raising a kid is not a game.
It's a test.
There you go.
Yeah, it's
And
not a game.
that's it.
It's a
It's
test.
not a game. It's a test. And you either gonna pass it or you're not. I keep telling people that,
Yeah.
like, you're not gonna get around this stuff, man. However you raise your kid, okay, you heard that thing called what doesn't come out in the wash comes out in the rinse.
Yes.
That's raising a child.
Yeah.
You can't. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can't fool it. It's gonna what comes out in that wash. Oh well, I was this and that. Okay, well we got your side of the story. Now let's see how this kid acts later on in life. The kid starts acting a certain way. Yeah, we get that saying. We like to say, well, once that kid's grown, he does what he wants to do. Well, yeah, that's true. But once that kid is grown, the apple don't fall far from the tree. Now, does it?
Very true. You know what happens? You know what happens?
It's a
things, like you said.
There it is. It's a repetitive cycle. The thing,
Well,
the
see, here's
one
the
thing
thing.
about
It can
being
also
grown,
be a snowball effect as well. It can
well,
be a
one thing-
snowball effect to certain parents.
the challenge of being grown is finding the good things about your parents and becoming the better generation. The goal of generations is really this. It's simple. Being better than the last one. That's it. If you're not better than the last one,
and
better
leaving
live the world in a
the
better
earth
place.
better the way that you found
That's
it.
it, brother. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
Yeah.
When you can't do
Yeah.
that, you failed. That's where you fail. You see what I'm saying? That's the failure of it. So you take the good things but you want to know what really happens? 90% of the time, we take the bad things. We take the bad things of our parents. That's what we
Yeah,
normally do.
unfortunately.
We become a mirror reflection of what we hated.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
And unfortunately. Now, there's some that get it,
Yeah.
but majority of us
Well,
don't.
Well, yeah, and see that's where you bring in that 10%. Like you said, it's 90%.
Right.
So
Oh,
there's
yeah,
that
it's not
10%
easy.
possibility.
There you go.
That
That's
okay, that you know what, you'll see some bad behavior, even if it's repetitive from the people that raised you.
That's right.
And there's a 90% chance you're gonna just go ahead and do the exact same thing. But there's
That's
that 10% chance.
That's there.
But there's that
That's
10% chance.
That's right.
That you'll do the exact opposite.
Right. That's right. And it takes a lot of will. It takes a lot of loneliness. It takes because you know why, man? Working on yourself.
Brother,
man, I'm telling you, bro.
Working on
yourself
is very expensive.
It's very expensive.
It's a lot more expensive
and
than
it's a
family.
lot of and it's time consuming, man. You can't look, bro. You are not gonna be better hanging around your parents. It ain't gonna do you no good hanging around.
Oh hell no! Please don't do that, people.
Hanging around your parents and you grown.
Don't do that. That'd be my Christmas wish.
Your Christmas
Please
wish.
don't do that, children.
I'm telling you, don't do it, man. That's the worst thing you can do as a person and as a kid, because you know what?
And if your parents try to take away your wonderful bank accounts and your credit cards, just go Venmo or bank. Wonderful. Get a nice PayPal card. Separate from the actual bank account.
That's it. That's it.
Just make sure you send it to somewhere where your parents don't pick up mail.
That's it, man. Because me and Sherman, man, we're spiritual.
Yeah.
We're spiritual. Me and Sherman, we're spiritual people, And the thing is, when I had to finally accept it, that when it said, a man will find his woman or a man grow up. It's one of the two. Either he finds his woman or he grows up. He has to leave the nest, right? When he leaves the nest, it says leave his parents. But a man will leave his... The only time a man will actually leave his parents is when he finds a wife. Okay, now, the word leave means to forsake. And that forsake means you leave it alone. So think about that. A man is supposed to leave his parents alone in order to become a man. How can a man become a man if he doesn't leave his parents alone? He can't.
Yeah, he's always up under
it's
him.
impossible.
Yeah,
it's
he's always up under
impossible.
him. Yeah.
So watch this. A woman, when she becomes a wife, she's given away. No man takes a woman and makes her his wife. That does not happen. The father of her gives her away to you.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to ask. Right. And when the father okays it, he gives her. So watch this. The daughter is given away as a gift. So now, what's a gift? It's something that you possess. So when the husband possesses the wife, she doesn't belong. What gift belongs to itself? A gift doesn't belong to itself, or it wouldn't be called a gift. You belong to the thing that was given for you. You belong to that now. So now that you belong to that now,
that's all
but the
about arranged
but the
marriages
husband
and
what I'm
betrothals
saying
and
is
whatnot.
it's a respect. It's a mutual respect because it's not just it's about understanding. That's what I'm saying.
It's a badge of honor from the father. It's
Right.
A badge of honor from
And
the father.
when the husband takes the gift, he's supposed to treat it as such. You're supposed to treat it as a gift. It's not, you're the gift, and now I trample over you, and you do whatever I say. It's a respect on both levels. It's a respect on both levels. Now watch this. The woman is at the bottom of that pole. So no matter what, she has to be of service, right? She has to be. That's her glory. Now watch this. The man is supposed to do what? Provide for that service, not take care of. because she's grown. No, watch this. No grown person takes care of a grown person, but like you said, T Reaper, the man is supposed to provide because why? The woman is supposed to be the helper, not the greater helper. Now, hey, if the woman becomes a successful person in life and she makes more money, that doesn't devalue.
I mean, sometimes it does work in
this.
reverse. It does.
And watch
it
this.
doesn't always have to work.
But watch this, T Reaper. Here's the
Sometimes it does
secret.
work in reverse.
That's right. Now here's the secret. Just because she makes more money than her man doesn't devaluate her situation. She still has to respect her man as the head. It's just an occupational thing. That has nothing to do with rulership. That's still considered. There's no such thing as
I
a woman saying, "Well, this is my."
Whose name is on the lease of the house or the apartment?
Well, that's
personally.
still not ownership. That's what I'm saying. None of that has to do with anything. What I'm saying is that still doesn't devalue it. That still doesn't devalue.
No, it don't.
None of that
No,
devalues because once we started devaluing the situations, that's where we got to where we're at. Why do you think now kids got rights? Kids don't have no rights.
Yep.
The only thing kids deserve. That's right. What does a kid?
True.
What
That
right
is fact.
does a
I'm
kid,
sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
What right does a kid have? The kid didn't have a right to be here. Two grown adults is the reason why the kid is here. That's where the kid's rights came from. Now, unfortunately, because two people were stupid, they were doing things the dumb way. Now you get the world involved. Now you get the world involved in your household. Now the world tells you what to do with your kid. That's your fault. See what I'm saying? That's because you didn't, like, it goes back to what Sherman said. That's because you didn't know how to raise your kid. Now the governments and everybody else is raising your kid for you because you couldn't raise your kid. Now they're telling you when to slap your kid, when to body slam them. They ain't saying, you know what I'm saying? They're not saying, well, your kid, you're right. Now they're not saying, well, you know, your kid don't deserve it. They're just telling you how to do it. You know?
Yeah,
now they're telling you how to do it.
it.
Don't do it in public no more. You do it, wait till you get to your house.
Yeah.
You know, don't do it in school anymore. Wait till you do it in your house. Now, if you do it in school, you do it in the public, we're going to get you. Come on, man. Come on,
But
man.
like that was just kind of like in the 90s when we had, you know, worldwide internet. We knew, like, once social media was invented and once, you know, online gaming caught up with, you know, education, we were gonna have this exact problem. The problem was how long till we get to this situation where this is now a problem, where kids that go home at the end of school because, you know, basically someone got detention, they beat them in Fortnite, then the next day they come to school after detention, beat the kid up. I mean, that's just not really fair, nor is it, you know, even right.
Crazy.
That's right, Rap. They're like, you have to program them right to work right. That's exactly right. Because your brain is the most fastest computer to exist. There's no computer on Earth that can work faster than it. Your neurological system that's built in your body is the most advanced computer. That's right. Is the most advanced computer intelligence ever. There's nothing that can compete with it. So when you, like you said, Ramp, programming everything to work right is exactly it. When you programming your child to act right, and you know what's funny? You can't wait too long to do that. You wait so long to start trying to act like that kid needs to get straightened up, and that kid bucks up to you, you done already failed.
Yeah, man.
Kids should never buck up to you.
That is so true.
Kid bucking up to you, man, there's something you didn't do right.
Man,
something you didn't do right.
That is, yeah.
And Sherm, you was talking about your grandparents. In their day, they wished you bucked up. They wish you thought about doing it. Grandparents have a way of psychedelic, they telepathic. What did you say? I didn't say nothing.
Oh,
you did.
They are
I heard your thought.
I love that about my grandmother.
Right.
That's
I heard
so
your thought. That's it, man.
Yeah.
And it put them
because they're
kids,
the silent generation. That's why.
That's right. That was the generation. Do as you're told. You do as you was told. That's exactly right. The silent generation. The kid, our mothers and dads rebelled against that. They wanted to be. They didn't want to be so hard.
The baby boomers and the Gen Xers tried to make a better
world
from what the silent generation did.
That's right. And they see what happened to them. The minute they started changing, guess what happened? I know what happened in our communities. We got a little help from our government, so it was a little different from the white community. But the same effect hit the white community, but it hit ours a little harder because we had something called drugs that was planted.
Yeah.
So once the drugs were planted, right, and we became crackheads and drugged and smoked out, we definitely couldn't raise our families because now drugs got us. See what I'm saying?
That's true.
And
Yeah.
then when you
True.
take the dads away, you put them in the pen. Now you got all these angry black males growing up without fathers. And you can't tell
Right.
me that a constructed household is not valuable because we come from that. You can't tell me not
Yeah.
having my dad and not having my mom makes me, it's normal or that's how it's supposed to be. It's not. You have to have that. You have to have that balance, like you said, because that balance is what is it? It's your negative and your positive charge. Your
Right.
mother
Yeah.
is a positive charge. Your dad's a negative charge. It's
Mm-hmm.
the universe, right? Negatives attract. Two positives run away from each other. So if my
Right.
mother is who I'm supposed to be, learning my life from, and I'm a male, something's wrong there because she can't teach me.
Yeah.
She can teach me how to be a model citizen, but she can't teach
But
me
she
how to
can't
be a
teach you how to be
man.
a man.
That's
That's
right.
right. Can't do it. It's
She cannot
impossible.
do that.
It's impossible.
And a father can't teach his daughter how to be a
How
wife.
to be a
All I can
woman.
do is teach her how not to be a whore, how not to be a
Mm-hmm.
slut. I can teach her that,
Right. That's
but
true.
I can't. That's
No, that's very
facts.
true.
True.
That's the facts
True.
about it. Teach her how not to be a slut, a porno star, a stripper, a hooker. I can
Mm-hmm.
teach her how not to be
Mm-hmm.
that, but I can't teach her how to be a woman. I don't know nothing. Look, Ramp laughing. That's right. I can Ramp. I can teach her how. You so stupid. I can teach her how not to to not give a quarter of a service. Get a better tip than a quarter. I
Oh
can
my
teach her
goodness.
that. Right.
Did
We can
he
teach her
really
that.
just
Ram's
say
rolling.
that?
Yeah, I know it. Because I did it for Ram. He over here dying on Mixer, man. But that's true. I can teach her how to stay away from the pole.
Right.
Stay away. But I
Right.
cannot. But I can't
It's
teach
true
her.
though.
That's so true.
You
But it's
you preaching
impossible
right
because
now,
you know
brother.
why?
You're preaching.
I don't. That's right. Because I don't know what it's like to have a period. I don't know what it's
Right.
like to have a baby. I don't know what it's
It's
like
true.
to go through those things, to be so emotional. I don't know those
Right.
things. So a mother, that's where a mother comes in. I don't,
Mm-hmm.
the older when girls start to mature and they're older,
Right. And
hygienes.
yeah,
You
changes.
can't, right?
Yeah.
When we talk to them, it's the way you talk
We
to a
don't have a
girl when that
clue.
starts happening.
We
Right.
don't.
You
Right.
don't have. What
We don't have a
we'll do
clue.
is say,
No
"Girl, you
matter how
smelling."
hard we
Right,
try.
girl, you smell. Go in the bathroom. That ain't how you talk to them. But we don't know
Right.
that. If you
Right.
smelling. Now, what did I tell you about smelling? You can't do that with them. It's different. It's
Right.
different. You see?
Right.
So
Right.
it,
Yeah.
It requires a little bit more finesse, and you got to be a little more delicate.
you got to be a little
Yeah.
bit more delicate.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Right. And
saying?
as men, look, and as men, let's just keep it real.
Right.
As men, well, let me be specific.
Yo, it just got
As
real on Di-RREC
as
Gaming
as
tonight.
Yeah,
It just got too real. That's it. We got
yeah,
real.
yeah.
Go ahead.
As heterosexual men, we don't really know the exact way to be quote unquote delicate. We just don't. Not in the way that will truly identify with a girl, raising a girl to be a woman. I mean, we just don't. Like you said, you can scare them, but that brings about a whole nother set of issues. You can scare them, like you said. You can scare them into staying out the strip club, and you better not be working that pole, and all that kind of stuff. But it really takes a grown woman to really connect with them on that level that we can never reach,
That's right.
to where they get it just naturally. And the reverse is also true. A woman, and you know what? And God bless them. There's so many single mothers out there who are just doing the best they can on a daily basis to raise their sons. I mean, and
right.
again, God bless them.
You're right.
God bless them. I'm not taking nothing away from them, not at all.
Right.
But at the end of the day, a woman will never, ever, ever
Right.
be able to truly raise a boy, turn a boy into a man the way he's supposed to be.
Right.
I mean, and again, I'm not shortchanging them at all.
Right.
But they definitely have to, some kind of way, they have to find that male role model, find that male in their life that they can connect to, that will fill in those blanks that a woman just can't fill in. When it comes to raising, when it comes to raising a boy and making sure he becomes a healthy man, a grown
That's
man
right.
with the right set of values, with the right attitude. I mean,
Rap is
it's
stupid,
just
man. No, go ahead. Sure.
no. I mean, it's look. It's funny to me how the subject matter can just totally evolve from gaming to
Right, because
where it
everybody
is
wants to
right
point
now.
blaming. Right. What we got on with this,
Yeah.
y'all? If you just got into this, we're talking about raising the kids. We can't blame things. We can't blame gaming because you don't raise
Right,
your kids right. That's where this is coming from.
right,
And when we
right.
Yeah.
understand as men where the source of it all comes from, it always comes from the
Mm-hmm.
house. Always,
Got to.
everything starts
Yes.
from the house, and the
Starts at
responsibility
home.
falls first on the husband, the
Starts at
man.
home.
The second
Starts at
falls
home.
on the wife, the woman, and the
Right,
third is the
right.
children because the children are the products of those trees. You can't get mad at the fruit. You can't get
Mhm.
Right.
mad at the
Without looking
fruit
at the tree.
without looking at the tree.
Without looking at the tree. That's right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You
Because it was
can't
the
do that.
it was the tree that bore the fruit that what you're
Right.
trying to blame.
Right. Right. But see, that goes back to my original point. When you've got different organizations, when you got the government, when you've got different people who take their fingers
This girl here is
and
just ridiculous. She
point
is raw. Farrah's raw.
and and
Shout out
and,
to
and
Farrah.
point
Killing the wolf doesn't guarantee a system
when you
of
take
gas.
when they take their fingers and point violence, mass shootings, etc., at the gaming industry, it's just again, it is sheer unadulterated,
You're right.
uncensored laziness.
You're right.
Because and sadly, here's the thing that really gets to me. Sadly, you got these same parents who are directly responsible for their kids' bad attitudes and negative behavior. They fall right in line with that whole mode of thinking, like, oh yeah, they said that it's the games that's making your peers act a certain way. So
You're right.
you know what? You can't play no games except on the weekends. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
Well, see,
again,
this whole thing never really made sense to me to begin with because video games was always an escape when we were
Right.
younger. It was
Right.
always to get away from normal
Right. It's
problems.
like
it
the
wasn't to cause them. So,
T
Right.
Reaper
so
said something
Right,
great.
right,
It was
contradicts what you're contradicting what you're basically provoking
gaming.
in
Right.
1990s.
Gaming
what you're
goes
basically
into
saying.
the same realms of comic books, and movies. That's why we have comic cons, and that's why people come in looking like video game characters all the way down to movie characters because movies, comics, and video games are like Reaper said. They are things that got us away from the norm. That gave us a break from all the monotony. Exactly right.
well, don't forget. Well, don't forget. Let's just be fair. Don't forget to leave music.
And
Don't
music.
forget.
That's
Don't leave
true.
music out of it.
Right.
Well,
Because I remember.
I say
Yeah, that's
music
true.
was first, and there
That's
would
true.
be no
Music,
video
yeah.
game industry without music
Yeah, that's
industry.
right.
So
Music
yeah,
too.
Yeah.
because
Music
it's
too.
part of
I
art.
mean,
That's good
Because
thinking.
it's part of
Yeah.
art.
That's right.
Because I remember back in the day. I remember in the 1970s, when hip hop first started making waves. The government, oh my goodness, the news media, they made such a big to-do about hip hop. Now think about this for a second, everybody. Hip hop
You're
in
right.
the 70s, and then we're talking about the Sugar Hill Gang.
Right. That's true.
We're talking about Run DMC.
Right.
We're talking, I mean, all the old schoolers, where if you compare them to what's out now,
Right. It's not even
Oh,
funny.
night and day
It's silly.
difference. Night
It's
Yeah,
like
it's so
night-
silly.
night
it's like
and day
night-
difference.
it's
Night
like
and day difference.
But my point is that back then they were seen as the catalyst for all of the ills of the world.
Right.
I mean, really, when you got somebody
That is
saying
true. They
something
tried
like,
They did try blaming it on books first, then music,
yeah,
then video games.
then
What's
music.
next?
They always there you go.
Social
What's
media?
next?
It's always
It's
gonna
always
be a
something,
scapegoat.
ain't it? Yup. It's
It's
always
always
something.
going to be a scapegoat, and it will be that way until something takes place.
And y'all want to
Jar
know what's so
these
funny?
folks.
Y'all want to know what's so funny? I'm glad y'all said that. The social media. Well, who's creating it? Who's creating it? They are. But then they got a problem with what
Yeah.
they create.
Millennials, the ones that made us the way we are today.
You want to blame what you made?
Yeah.
You want to blame what you made? Well, social media got these kids. Well, you made it. You created it.
Yeah, you gave them
Right.
their social media accounts. They're like, that's your own stupid fault.
But see, that's the thing. It's the classic scenario of you know, a specific person did it, and then when it gets out of control, and then they get called out for it, you know, they put their hands behind the back, like, wasn't me. Oh, that's the problem right over there. It wasn't us. No, we didn't do it. No, they did it. They're the ones at fault. It's a class. Little kids do that all the time.
That's right.
You got siblings in the same household, and one sibling did something, and then it goes horribly wrong, and it just so happened that their sibling was in the general vicinity. So what happens when they get called out? They point the finger at the sibling that didn't do it. Even if the sibling that didn't do it knew about it, at the end of the day, they're not to blame.
That's
So
right.
it's that classic scenario of, you know, one could argue that, well, do we ever grow up?
Right.
And
Do we ever
the
grow up?
answer-
And you know what the answer is? No. There it is.
Right.
We don't
Right.
ever grow up.
I say there's a
that-
part of us that never grows up, and then
No,
the
we
other
don't ever
part is
grow up.
just the
The
projection.
point of life is improving as you grow up. That's how you grow
Right.
up. You're never growing up.
Right.
You never grow up. You never hit that point. Because, you know, I used to have, you know, I used to talk to this old lady, and she told me, you know, you never stop learning. Well, you never stop
No,
learning
you
because
don't.
you never grow up.
That is true. Yes.
That's right.
You're
So
never supposed to stop learning.
That's right.
The brain
objective
never
of
stops
life-
learning until it fails.
Until it's
That's
done,
basically when it
you know?
stops learning.
Right.
The whole
Yeah.
point of life,
Right.
right. The whole point of life is to get to improve. It's not to grow up. It's to you are growing up. But what I mean by growing up is like not like you can find an apex to it. It's about getting better.
It's about maturity and
That's
you
right.
know, and,
It's-
you know,
it's right.
and you know, wise, you know, the wisery of the world, and not so much just looking at, you know, black and
right.
white.
Hey guys, hang on one second. I'll be right back. I got to
No,
feed
you're
the
good,
dog.
man.
Hang on.
You're good, man.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, T Reaper, man. You made there's some good points. Y'all making some good points tonight, man. Good stuff, man. I just like listening, man. Listening to y'all points. You know, we talk this stuff, man. There's a lot of subjects that really don't get touched on. And I really like the fact that the kids, man, being blamed on gaming for life, man. We have to protect it, man, or you know, this type of stuff, this gaming type of stuff will be under attack, man, and it's so easy to point the finger at. But I honestly think, man, gaming is going in the right
I
direction.
just wish that the world would like find a different reason to blame the
Right.
world's
Stop copping
issues
out.
on other
Yeah,
things.
stop copping out.
Yeah. But like, I get it because you know, especially now that I'm also I'm having so much fun on Instagram, and I get new followers every single day, and now that I'm also back in supporting the streamers and whatnot.
Right.
You have all these kids that want to play with us, but if you're in an
It's
18+
Sherman got us
party, you can't
bouncing.
really have the kids in there. So. But
Yeah,
you
you're right.
still want to play with the new gamers as much as you want, but maturity comes first.
Right. That's true.
But a lot of parents don't know that when they get their kids Xbox Live, they don't know the deeper
Right, how mature
concept
you
behind
gotta
what
be.
you're doing.
Right, they don't know. It's not Mario Land. Exactly.
No, it's not. That's why I made that joke yesterday.
Yeah, it's because It's because Sherminator put his mic down to go do something real quick. We're back to the echo. Sorry about that, Ramp.
But but then on PSN, people can say the exact opposite as well. You can be having more social, relaxed experience. But I'm like, yeah, that's the whole point of PSN, though.
That's true.
And then you want this like humongous powder keg of all cultures on one server base. I mean, it will work. Will they all get along? Hell to the goddamn no. Good luck with that.
Nope.
You're gonna have like certain games that have been so popular get like rifted in half because half the community wants it this way and the other half wants it that way. Well, the whole point of the PvP section, whether you want to argue about co-op situations and story another time, the whole point of PvP is legit what we're doing.
Right.
The goal is to legit go ham each match. Whoever becomes better at the end is the winner. The end. That's the whole point of competition. You want a social experience. That's what co-op is for. That's what the story runs are for. That's what those wonderful firefights, zombies. All that stuff is invented for that stuff. But the competition is like what everybody loves to death because that's basically what keeps them playing over and over again. It's the repetition that basically keeps making money.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, the same can also be said the same thing for single-player games on Sony's side, because I certainly see enough PlayStation players play God of War over and over again, even though they've already done it.
My goodness, man.
But it's different with single players compared to PvP games, because PvP games, there's a different experience every single match, even if you play the same map over and over again.
Right. That's right.
New players, new experiences, every single time.
That's right, every single time, and that's the difference. Echo City. Well, I'll tell you what. We don't want to give too much Echo City. So on behalf of Sherminator, who's not here, on behalf of Hebot that was not here, T Reaper and I are going to end this session tonight. It was good talking. We on Echo City mode right now, and we don't want to kill off everybody in Echo City. T Reaper, man, forget the outro. We're just going to say this. Thank you all for coming out live on Di-RREC Gaming. We're going to get a colossal group together pretty soon. That was our plan. It didn't go the way we wanted it to go tonight, but Sherminator and T Reaper came through, and I'm honored and thankful for that. Thank you guys, man.
Yeah, we were on here for at least 3 hours.
That's right. Thank you guys. And we're gonna really bring a treat soon. We're trying to bring a real good treat soon. Thank you, T Reaper, once again. Like I said, man. Thanks to everybody out there. Ramp, everybody out in Mixerland that came out to shoot it up. That's right. And thanks for the panel. Thanks for my brothers, man. Thank y'all so much, man. And we out of here. We'll see you guys soon.